right. Welcome back to Waste Some Time with Jason Green. I am Jason Green. It's Wednesday. Here we are live again. Had a miss last Wednesday. We were in Baltimore, Maryland, and I just couldn't sync up or coordinate the time to go live. But we're here now, and that's all that matters. And we're going to have a very special guest stopping by. So I hope everyone's going to be on your best behavior. Stephen Pearcy, the voice of Rat, will be here and maybe even answer some of your questions. So if you have an intelligent question, make sure you have it ready, because you never know how long or short he's going to stay. And I see a lot of people here already, a lot of people in the comments. Very cool to see Johnny Gehring is here. John Gehring was the first roadie for Rat ever, and he has some incredible stories, and will also be on the show one day to tell us the real early days of Rat, the stuff that I think people really want to hear about. The early days of how people got started sometimes is some of the most fascinating, which reminds me, this Friday, Steve Rosen will be on the show. Steve Rosen was a music journalist who wrote a book called Tone Chaser about Eddie Van Halen and about his friendship with Eddie Van Halen that lasted 26 years, I believe. So anyway, he'll be here, and we talk about those really early days of Van Halen back at the Whiskey. Some of those days when John Gehring and Stephen Pearcy were first going out and meeting some of those guys. Anyway, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about my recent trip to the East Coast and all the things I did and people I saw. A lot of people asking me about Riley's LA Guns. What happened? How did it go? Steve Riley obviously has passed. Well, we can talk about that. We'll talk about all the people we've met in between. We'll talk about future tour diaries and travel. Talk about the snowstorm, the great snowstorm, the worst one that they'd seen in 47 to 48 years. We'll answer anything that you want to know about. I'll tell you about last night's major party. We went to a party. Chuck Brennan owns Dollar Loan Center here in Nevada. I think it's in other states too. He knows how to throw a party, and he had a big party last night with Taime Downe and Phil Lewis and Mike Reno, Loverboy, and Sebastian Bach. Of course, Stephen Pearcy, the Offspring. It was a really interesting event, and I'll tell you a little bit about that. We'll talk about what's coming up on the channel, and then we'll get the hell out of here, because unfortunately, or fortunately, I got to get up and go to NAMM. I guess my number came up in the draft, war as hell, but I'm on my way to NAMM. So we're going to get started, talk about everything you want to talk about and more right after this. Just wanna waste some time with you. Sometimes it seems too good to be true. Nobody I'd rather waste time with than you. All right, 200 people here in the chat and counting. And let's take a look at some of the comments. A lot of people talking about the shows and how they had a great time. Here's John Gehring now, again, Rat's first roadie, and he's got some great stories. He'll be here soon. All right, let's waste some time. And question. Hey, Jason, that's me. Let's waste some time. Any chance of Stephen doing Invasion in its entirety after Cellar? Pearcy's band is on fire. And you'll be at the show in Bloomington on March 30th. That's an arena show. Vince Neil and Quiet Riot on the bill. Well, we can ask Stephen, but I think we got a year of Out of the Cellar. And then the question is, how much longer does Stephen want to tour for? You know, he has made it very clear that he doesn't plan on being 70 and sitting on these planes anymore. It's rough. So I think it's nice. I think Stephen is feeling ambitious. I don't think he believed that, Out of the Cellar would be such a thing, start to finish. And now that it is, anything is possible. Mark's gas station is here. Lorraine is here. Lorraine was at all 4 shows. And John was at the Whiskey Show on December 29th. That was the first time. Lorraine was there as well. That was the first time that the record was played in its entirety. All right. Well, I think the man of the hour is here. He's prompt, early, on time, and rested. Let's say hello to Stephen Pearcy.
Yep. Here.
How are you?
Hey, yo, what's up, man? Fun last night, right?
We had a good time, yeah.
Chuck Brennan's birthday. Here, I'm
Chuck-
going to sign some of these while we're here. Sign some of these, and for no
Yeah,
reason, give them away with 8x10 because we can.
yeah, it's always the season of giving in the Pearcy home. So let me explain this real quick. What
Yeah.
happens is for the next 24 hours, those who are watching, if you go to Stephen's website and you order an 8x10, I'm putting the order CD, you're going to get a free 8x10 as well. Stephen's signing them, so you'll see that they're real.
Yeah.
And this is just for the next 24 hours. So if you're watching this on the replay, you might be too late. I'm going to show the link on the screen. You can click on it and purchase it. Stephen will get them out to you. And so that's that.
And we'll see you out on the road, right?
I hope so. Yeah. We'll get back,
Okay.
we'll get back
All
to
right.
it.
Just wanted to say hello, and we'll talk to you soon, brother.
Were you going to answer some questions, Stephen?
Oh, yeah, sure. You want me to answer some questions?
You're up for it. Yeah. Here's a.
I'm up for a couple.
All right, let's do a couple. Question: what was your favorite band to tour with, and why?
Favorite band to tour with and why? Van Halen. I didn't know to tour with would be Ozzy, definitely. And why? Well, Ozzy. Say
I
no
would
more.
say, Stephen, it's kind of secret, but we could kind of tease it. There may be an appearance with you and Ozzy Osbourne together coming up this
Oh, soon.
summer.
No,
Yeah,
I got it. I know what's happening.
so
Yeah.
hopefully we'll announce that soon. But for fans of Ozzy and Stephen, it'll be the first time you've got to see them since Rat supported Ozzy Osbourne. So that's coming soon. Skylar has a good question.
Yeah.
Favorite song off Out of the Cellar?
All of them. I have no favorite because lately the Scene of the Crime and what's the other one we're doing sound fun. They're just fun to do. She
I
wants
think,
money. She wants money.
yeah. And that was probably one that you didn't think would be a favorite.
No. Well, as we know, not for his musical craftsmanship, but
Yeah.
anyway.
Well, that's a song that Juan wrote, and you probably didn't think you'd play it live, but it goes over really well.
Sounds good. No, it sounds good. As you know, it's been going over very well.
Okay, let's see. Let's get a few more questions before they get at it. You get at it. Okay, and people saying they enjoy the CDs. Which city has the best fans? That's a tough one.
Which city has the best band?
Fans.
Fans? Oh, come on now. That's you can't yeah. Impossible. Impossible.
Yeah.
Fans. I call them friends.
Here's a good question. The guitar that they saw you buy on the road, one of the episodes, you purchased a guitar, the Dillian guitar. They want to ask how it worked out for you. Do you like it?
Perfectly. It's right over there, sleeping. Right over somewhere.
And everyone saying hello to Christy as well.
Hello. So anyway, to make it quick, I'm going to sign a bunch of these things, and they're different, and get back to us because we have a rock and roll auction coming. Kind of a studio clearance sale.
And that's the other thing. Stephen's been going through the archives, and a lot of cool memorabilia will be yours. We had a lot of fun doing those in the past. We'll do it again. Personalized for Stephen. He'll sign them to you. You'll hang out with us at Stephen's house, and
you will.
And you go to officialstephenpearcy.com. That's his website. That's where you can purchase the CD, get a signed photo, get a CD. I think if you include your name in the order, Stephen will sign it to you. So
of course.
That's an option. And again, this is just for 24 hours. Stephen is just popping in for a quick.
Thank you. We thank you, Adair and myself. Thank you.
And we're going to see you. We're going to see you guys both on the road. Officialstephenpearcy.com is where you get the.
We got to take care of business. Bye-bye. Thank you.
All right. So, all right. So, I think we got Stephen in between. Maybe it's his bowling night. I'm not sure, but or it's laundry night. I don't know. You got the world's shortest Stephen Pearcy interview. He said he was ready to come on and chat, and I guess he wasn't. If you guys want, I'll answer your questions as Stephen Pearcy and see how close I can come. But anyway, he's up to something. He's got things to do. We've been on the road constantly, and so he's probably beat. We went out for 5 nights, uh, five nights. Yeah, 6 days, 5 nights, and we went to Baltimore, Philadelphia, Connecticut, New York City, home, and then last night we went to this big event, and it's never much of a break. So you guys have a lot of questions, and I think I'm going to answer most of them on my own. I don't. I think by me telling you about the weekend. Jeff Hook is here, and he asks, "What's up with the Rat reunion?" Steven's not here, but in my assessment, there will not be a Rat reunion. See Stephen Pearcy while you can. The voice of Rat. He's as close to Rat as you will get. He's playing songs that you wouldn't believe. And so I don't know if Johnny's watching. If Johnny's watching, it would be great if he wanted to pop on. But anyway, if you guys see Johnny in the chat, you let me know. So let's. I'll get to your questions too. All right. So we went to last I saw you. We were on our way to the East Coast. Wasn't feeling so incredible, but that's life. And when I got there to the first city, Baltimore, Maryland, I was still a little under the weather. I decided that I was going to go out and I was going to do some sightseeing for the show. The first night, we didn't really know our surroundings. I booked the hotels. It's rare, but sometimes that happens. And we were by the inner harbor in the city. I wanted to stay somewhere that was close to other things to do. And it was also 7 minutes from the venue. It was the highest rated hotel. But the neighborhood, the inner harbor in Baltimore, you may know, is not the best neighborhood anymore, even though it's a tourist area. What are you going to do? Me, Johnny, and Matt decided we were hungry and we were going to go for a walk through the ice. It was very dangerous. We turned the corner and we were in what might be considered a red light district. There was women and men giving out flyers to get you into their strip clubs or their adult facilities, adult shops, and it was seedy to say the least. And Johnny, Matt, and myself were the only people of the white persuasion. Not that that matters, but it was the case. So at any second, I expected the Ghostface Killer to appear. So we found a place to eat called Kona or something like that. Matt is very choosy. Matt will. I wish he was here too. I'd like to have Matt and Johnny both on here, but I didn't think it through. I thought Steven was going to be here, but he didn't last. So the food sucked. But Matt's very choosy. He doesn't eat fried food. And listen, he looks great. I look like Chastity Bono or something. So we went to this place because we're supposed to be healthier. It was terrible. Johnny and Matt's food was terrible. My food's terrible. And I'll be honest, we risked our lives. Many times I thought we would be rubbed out. So or off, depending on the block. So we did that. We went to the hotel. It wasn't the great. It was old. When you stay in these cities, it's old. Lynn is here from Horseheads, New York. I remember Horseheads well. The Mark Twain grave in that area. So good to see you. Mark Sanchez wants to talk about Edgar Allan Poe, and thank you so much for the super chat. And again, if Johnny and Matt are watching, you have to say something in the comments, and then I can send you the link. I'm not looking at my phone. So decided I would venture out into the world of Edgar Allan Poe. My friend had seen some of the sites before and kind of gave me a heads up on the neighborhood. I also Googled it. But when you read things like TripAdvisor, some of the people are not the most. Can you guys believe that Stephen Pearcy came on for 3 minutes? Sorry. Yes, rest in peace to Edgar Allan Poe. Well said. He just celebrated his 215th birthday. So rest in peace and happy birthday. So I was a little concerned about the neighborhoods. I've gone to neighborhoods and filmed things before. I went to school in Harlem. I was born in the Bronx. I've seen neighborhoods that maybe weren't the best. But in this case, um, I wasn't sure. And I went to film a video in Los Angeles about where the Doors filmed the inside cover, back cover to Morrison Hotel. It was the first Hard Rock. It's now what they call a bodega. And a guy threatened to kill me. It was not nice. And then I had to start thinking about the neighborhoods that I would go to. Hey, Mickey Licks is here, and welcome, Mickey. We'll talk about Mickey in a little bit. His band opened for Steven in Long Island, the last show of four. So I'm glad he's here. He said, hard working for Steven. Russ, no, no. I mean, Steven has had so many years of experience, and he's worked with so many people. So he has a way he wants things done. And once you know the way he wants things done, no, he's not. I mean, he's a bit eccentric. You saw he came on for an interview and stayed 3 minutes. But I enjoy working with him, and I believe that he respects what I bring to the table. And so anyway, uh, I've worked with a lot worse people, members of RAT, whatever. So I wish John Gehring would come on too right now. He could tell you stories about Stephen. So um, I, I I I didn't want to get killed. Also, it was very icy out and sort of dangerous, and uh, didn't know what to expect. So what I did is I asked the front desk, and they recommended you take an Uber. So what I did is I got an Uber. There was a lovely woman driving the Uber. She resembled uh, how was it worth working with Kip Winger? Kip Winger, in a lot of ways, a little bit more difficult than Steven. I don't mean that in a bad way. He's a friend of mine. I saw him last night. Has a very precise way he wants things done. The thing is, Kip can do it all himself and normally does. So finding your role with him could be difficult. I like him, and they're completely different. It's completely different people. Um, so anyway, I should stay on track with these stories so that you can hear them. So the woman was lovely. She looked and kind of acted a little bit like Shirley from What's Happening, if you know who that is. And so she said, "I'll take you to the cemetery." Of course. So we get to the cemetery, and there's a sign outside that says closed. And all I could think was vacation. I thought if I could just find a sporting goods store and get a BB gun, I'm gonna get in. Uh, Moose should have told you that. Oh, John Gehring is still here. Okay, that's good. John, maybe we could talk about some rat stories because you saw how fast Stephen left. But let me get through some of this first, and then we'll talk about it. So the so I went to Edgar Allan Poe's uh, grave site, and I looked through the. Oh, Jeff got the CD. There ain't a lot of those. So if you want the signed photo and the CD, I'm jumping all over the place. That's the link for it. Go get one. Uh, we wanted to do something nice for the fans today, and so that was a special thing. So this is your chance. All right. So yes, people are dying to get into cemeteries. So at the Edgar Allan Poe Cemetery, in the very front is his current grave. At the back is his original grave. But they realized that he was a man of prominence, and they were also going to move his family to be with him, and so they put them all at the front of the cemetery. But the back of the cemetery has a headstone to commemorate his original burial spot, and it says, "Quoth the Raven nevermore," and has a raven. Couldn't get back there due to ice. You weren't allowed. Okay, John is on his phone. Gotcha. Okay, and so I filmed it through the fence. Then I told the woman I was kind of interested in going to see one of his homes, say homes, but I was worried about that. They say that was a bad neighborhood, so I got in the Uber, and she said, if you just keep adding stops, I'll take you to the different places. So what I did is we went to Edgar Allan Poe's home and museum. I didn't really want to take the tour. It takes an hour. It's a tiny little house. They call them tiny homes. And whatever. I looked at the house, and then I said, well, I'd like to see where he died, which was used to be a hospital. It's now a building that they do some other stuff in it, but they have a plaque commemorating the place that he died. And so um, so I went there, and it was really cool. And it says private property. I went on. I ventured on, but they were very nice to me and asked me if I'd seen some of the other Edgar Allan Poe uh, uh, sites. I should point out that when I said Edgar Allan Poe was buried with his family would be his mother-in-law and his wife. His wife was also his teenage cousin. So she died much earlier. Poe made it to 40. Again, this was the day before his birthday, so the town was all abuzz with things Poe, the 215th birthday. So I went to the hospital. Then after that, there was a bar that it was famous that he went outside and allegedly was beaten up or unconscious or who knows, but he was wearing someone else's clothes. And I made a point to the driver. I said, Cheryl, it's a long way to the cemetery from this spot where he fell. It's not like they had Uber. What do you think they did? A horse-drawn carriage? Anyway, and then I had her take me over to where the aquarium was because Matt Thorne is an expert on all things aquarium, and I should see if those guys would come on because you would love to hear them tell you about this aquarium. Hold on. I'm going to invite them on, and so while I do that, I'm going to put on something on the screen for you to enjoy, and then maybe we'll get joined by Johnny and or Matt. The problem is, let's see what this does. This is called Purple Rain. It didn't do a damn thing. Oh, it's music. Jeez, hold on. We'll figure this out. All right. So I invited Matt and Johnny to tell you some stories about our trip because um, Stephen's unprecedented appearance, the shortest appearance in history. Couldn't even play him on or play him off. We just didn't have the time. Okay, so Matt and I went to uh, we went to the aquarium. Well, first we went to a seafood restaurant, which is much like the aquarium, and it's called Phillips, and we had a fantastic food. And when Matt was already eating, and he told me that his crab cake was $60. I asked him if I could have something a little less expensive, and but I had a crab cake and some of the best clam chowder I probably ever had in my life, and they must have just fished it right out of the aquarium. Turns out Matt Thorne is an expert on all things aquatic and aviary. He is a parrot owner, and so as we walked around, he spoke to the animals, much like Doctor Doolittle, and he knew the names of all of these things. And that's when we met a sloth, and I've never met a sloth before, and he was very nice. And he came right up to me and Matt, and we asked, "Does this happen all the time?" And all the people who worked there said no. They were all they were recording it. The sloth apparently was a big rough cut fan. So that was the aquarium. Johnny woke up a little late, and we met him at Starbucks. And then that evening was a show at a place called Ram's Head Live in Baltimore, and it was a great crowd. The whole run was really strong. Played the record. I will say that every night Stephen played a different set list. He always played out of the cellar, but the songs before or the songs after were different each night, which I think kept was fun. And for someone like Lorraine, who went to every show, she also got to see something different. The next day, we were on our way to Philadelphia. Um, we rented a van. We drove this whole trip. We rare for us, and hopefully it stays that way. Just a lot of traveling. So we went to Philly, and that's when it was snowing, and the snow began, and it wasn't terrible, but I was going to run up the steps like Rocky, and that was just out of the question. Couldn't do it, and I couldn't go visit some of the famous things that I wanted to, and I also became very ill, much like Edgar Allan Poe. I texted Michelle and told her that I was ill, and after the show, I had to wrap myself in blankets and sweat it out. Essentially, it was fever and chills, and I texted her my words. Lord help my poor soul. Those were the last words of Edgar Allan Poe. Lord help my poor soul. And I thought this was it. I thought this was the big one. But it was coming to join you. And but I kind of sweated out with some NyQuil and things. And the next morning, I got back in the van, a 5 hour, a 4 hour or so trip to the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. I sat in the last row, Scott Coogan to my left, and that way I had room to put my feet on the East Coast. A lot of coasts, the roads are terrible, and we just bumped, and it was tough. But I was able to rest a little bit, and then we got to Connecticut. Normally, the way a bill works at a concert is the headliner sound checks first, and you go backwards. Because the guys in Quiet Riot were nice enough to sound check before us. They were already there. And it wasn't just me, everyone was a little worn down. We needed the extra sleep. So we were able to sleep in a little bit because of those guys going ahead of us. Quiet Riot has a very similar back line to Stephen Pearcy. We use a lot of the same things. The only main thing was changing out the drums. They have a forklift that lifts the drum risers to the stage. So when we got to Connecticut, my father and uncle were there, and it was really great to see them. One of the best things about touring is that you get to see family and friends that you didn't think you'd see. And so my father got there super early, as fathers sometimes do. And but they weren't going to the show. They didn't want to drive at night and snow and ice. But so we had a quick lunch at the Johnny Rockets in the Mohegan Sun. but it was really nice. I haven't seen my father in, I don't know, if 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 years maybe. And I hadn't seen my uncle in over 25 years, which sounds crazy because he was a big part of my life. Bought me my first bass guitar. Really got me into a lot of the rock and roll music I liked. He was very big into Frank Zappa. I remember he got tickets to this thing called Zappa's Universe in New York 4 nights in a row. But Frank Zappa got sick right before that event and had to cancel. And Warren DeMartini was one of the guitar players who played. And I was able to see him play. He played Dirty Love with Dweezil Zappa the night before Steve Vai had played, and I was just blown away. And he bought me a lot of my favorite rock albums, and so to see him and to see my father was great. And it really felt like not that much time had passed, and they really didn't look that much older, which is great. You know, it's sometimes depressing when you see people that long. You go, "Oh my goodness, I'm getting old. I'm getting old as well." But it was great to see them. It was great to chat. And at the end, I thought I'd give him a hug. My father and his family were not very clingy, lovey, affectionate people. So I went to give him a hug, and he went limp. He just kind of went, and he just took it, and and then I decided, well, that's not enough. I'm going to give my uncle a hug too, who usually seemed to be a little bit more outgoing, and he as well went limp. And but you should show your friends and family that you love them, and make them feel uncomfortable and give them a hug. So I was really fortunate. All right, I go down to sound check. Uh, um, Quiet Riot was already done. Steven's band wrapped it up while I was at lunch. They don't need me. And then after that, I saw the ladies in Vixen, who were very friendly. We see them all the time. Julia, the bass player, will be on the show very, very soon. She has a solo record to promote. She made with her husband, Richie Kotzen. Anyway, she'll be here soon. We had a long talk about it. And Lorraine is coming soon too. Lorraine's got a busy schedule. She works in the TV business, but she'll be here too. And you've seen Brit, and Brit you'll probably see again with my coverage from NAM beginning tomorrow. So war is hell. So anyway, and then there was the moment of truth. I saw my buddy Kelly Nichols, who did his interview here. This was 2 days before Steve Riley's birthday, and I talked to Kelly for a while. And I had a lot of things for him to sign for my personal memorabilia collection. He was nice enough to do that. And I watched their sound check, and on the screens they have a thing, always in our hearts, and it's Steve Riley, and it plays with some music, and it was very sad. And I'll be honest, I was a bit choked up. I was at the top of the arena when I looked down and first saw it on the screens, and then to see these guys who really all enjoyed uh, Steve as a friend and a business partner and a musical partner. Scotty Griffin had been in LA Guns for quite some time with Phil Lewis and Steve and Stacey Blades, who I saw last night as well. And now, and obviously Kelly, how much time he had spent with him. And so it was a tough a thing. And you could see it was tough for them as well. So I made sure that I was going to come back and see them. I took a shower. They went on early. They went on at 7:30, and I made sure to get back down to the arena. I met the drummer, which was also a question that many people asked. Excuse me. The Kelly said on this show, if you haven't seen the interview, watch it, that they didn't want to use a name guy. They didn't want to overshadow Steve's memory. So they wanted someone who was an adequate drummer to fill in. The guy they used plays with Kurt and Scott in Florida, and he was very, very good. A very good player, tasteful. He sang a lot of high parts that maybe that lineup was missing. Excuse me, Kurt was not the highest singer, and so maybe at the end of the day, it would help, and I think it did. And so they played, and they opened with the song "Over the Edge," and I remember it being moving, and knowing that Steve wasn't on the stage. If you'd seen Riley's LA Guns, that Kelly would play right back by the drums most of the time. It's different to have somebody else on stage. And they played 3 songs of their lineup, and they played 4 songs of the classic LA Guns. They played Over the Edge, Never Enough, Ballad of Jane, Electric Gypsy, and then they played a song called Crawl off the Renegades record. I believe they played the song Renegades, and then they played The Dark Horse, which I think is a great song. I recommend you listen to it. You'll excuse me. The Dark Horse is available right now on streaming. Steve Riley's final album. That song in particular is great. And Kurt said a few words, and Kelly tipped his hat, and that was it. It was 30 minutes. As Kelly said on the show, there may be a tribute to Steve at a later day, a bigger thing. This was a show that they'd already agreed to. There's so many of your comments that maybe I should try to read some of them. Russ says, I must admit, since watching your shows, I don't have a lot of respect for LA Guns. I'm assuming you mean Phil Lewis and Tracy Guns, but that's what it is. What it is. I saw Phil last night. Kelly Nichols' interview was nice. Alf's story is unbelievable. A lot of people didn't understand what he meant by the Alf story. But what it meant was that in the video, I believe Electric Gypsy, on his motorcycle, he had an Alf doll. And then just the other day, after Steve had passed, he found another one in the trash. And so, okay, here's a stupid question. Bro, why in the hell would you cut off your beautiful hair? Makes 0 sense, especially for promoting the 80s scene. I'm not really promoting the 80s scene. You can see it however you like. I work with people in the 80s scene. I have friends who are people in the 80s scene, but I promote whatever. I sell a hot sauce. I mean, whatever, I'm a man of many talents, and hair grows back, and who cares? All right, let's take a look. I'm going to try to answer some of your questions. Lorraine was there. She saw Rise of LA Guns was fantastic. Were fantastic. Their tribute was wonderful. Yeah, it was good. Michael, right on, Jason. So happy to see you doing well enough to do the show. Thank you. I would appreciate that. Rob Affuso, I text him all the time. I texted him the other day. He gave me the thumbs up. I said, yeah, maybe this year we'll get it done. I don't know. Maybe the world isn't that interested. You think this is the place? He's done other interviews. I don't know what to tell you. This is spelled wrong. Julia's last name is Lage. Okay. A lot of nice comments. I'm trying my best to. Any chance? Stupid question. Sorry. And my parents, if a lot of people would like to see them, and if you'd like to see them, they will be in the Tort. Not only did Stephen come and leave already, I got to change the name of this video, by the way. If you're watching it, Stephen Pearcey stops by to discuss Back in the Cellar Tour. He didn't discuss anything. I can't win with him sometimes. I love him. I'm grateful to work with him, but and now here we are. Oh, thank you. Lorraine offered to bring me chicken soup. That's all right. I appreciate it, but okay. Let's see. Victor. Hey, Jason. We met you, Johnny, and Steven at the Mohican. You guys are so cool to us. Johnny gave my daughter a guitar pick. She was excited. My daughter is the one who gave you, the Christmas vacation ornament. Her name is Samantha. It's just to show you that I do remember things. Boy, did people give me nice stuff. I got to thank you. And if any of you are watching, she gave me a jolliest bunch of a-holes this side of the nut house ornament. I'm touched that people pay enough attention to know how much I love certain things. Christmas ornaments, Christmas vacation. And that was so nice. And Julie Keller. Julie was so nice. She gave me a bracelet. I felt like Taylor Swift. I feel like I'm going to get bracelets to give back to people who give me bracelets. I'm going to get into that whole Swiftie thing. But that was sweet. But she also gave me this. it's not far from here, but this box of Halloween 3 toys, and it's exactly the kind of thing I love and collect. And in the future, it'll be behind me on the memorabilia section. But so thank you to Julie, and then Anne also made me a bracelet. What is the chance? 2 bracelets in the same night. You guys know how to make a girl feel good. So I thank you for that. I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget any other gifts. People are so nice. I couldn't think of a reason why I wouldn't want to meet people. Sometimes people are surprised that I come and I'll hang out. I personally don't think I'm all that a big a deal, but I'm certainly happy that people watch the show. And I am learning. Almost 400 people here right now. I am learning that we've all become kind of online friends. I welcome you into my living room each week and talk about my personal life, and I'm here for you guys too. And when the going gets tough, oh, there's Julie right now. Well, thank you, Julie. It was very kind of you, and it was nice of you and your mother to come out and bring gifts. Let's see. Yeah, Russ would like to see me and Johnny have sushi again. This is going to be the first episode where we don't get flagged. I've been really watching my language because I don't want them taking away my money. Did I miss a super chat? If I did, I'm really sorry. Oh no, they're both from Mark. Okay, but thank you, Mark. Your background seems like it was TV and film. How'd you get into the music business? Let's well, a lot of questions. Good sidebars. I was good at networking. I knew a bunch of musicians and a bunch of ideas, and I thought, well, I could do this too, and that's what happened. Another day, I'll tell you more. Clint says it was great to meet you, and Clint said, thank you, Clint. I remember I shared a picture of us. Yeah, that was nice. Okay, you guys are all awesome. So someone made a good point. Maybe Stephen was leaving us wanting more, but I'm definitely going to change the name of this show. And I think Matt and Johnny are ignoring it. Patreon goodies coming soon. Yes. So Patreon, when you sign up for my Patreon, even if you just sign up for a $5 a month package, you get a signed welcome picture. You get a couple guitar picks. And if the guitar picks are out of stock, I have to reorder them. And so Michelle handles it all now because I was inefficient. So what happens? Yeah, not Swifties, Greenies. That might be my thing. I like Time Wasters. I kind of like that. If you guys want that name, excuse me. Anyway, the so I've signed everything, and then oh, thank God. I felt like I was out here on a limb. I said I could really use some help, and sometimes you don't have enough money and you need to make a loan. Well, thank God he's here. Dollar Loan Johnny.
Hey.
Johnny, I appreciate you coming in here last second. Did you see Steven's appearance?
No, I forgot it was Wednesday.
Mm-hmm. Well,
what happened?
Christy told me that he wanted to come on and do something.
Okay.
And then he decided he didn't want to do what she said.
I hear you.
Yeah. And then so the whole idea, they changed their mind.
All right.
So they didn't want to do it, which was fine. So then they asked, are you taking x-rays over there?
Sorry. I wasn't ready. I forgot. I didn't know.
I should point out that after I was sick, I probably infected Johnny and Matt. So
let's not use that to make it sound like that.
True.
Usually when someone gets infected, they just left the Faster Pussycat tour bus. I can't see anything.
Johnny saves the day. Yes, he does.
Now, what are you talking about?
Well,
what happened?
When you just joined, we were talking. We were still in Connecticut, and I was talking about Riley's LA Guns, Vixen, Quiet Riot,
Yeah.
And so it was a big arena, and it was nice to be there. And I will tell you, this is the second time we played there. It was much more crowded this time, Johnny. It was a pretty full house for an arena. And I think that the Out of the Cellar thing went over really well. How did you feel about that gig?
I thought it was good. I mean, I thought it was really good. I like to play like places like that exclusively. It makes you feel like you're, you know, playing something, you know, the big place like that. People are really excited. I I'm not really I don't play a lot of stages like that, and it wasn't like I was uncomfortable, but when you have so much room and stuff, this you hear things differently, so you're more like um you're separate, so you can really hear what's going on. And sometimes if you hear too much, you know, it affects your playing a little bit. But I could get used to that. I liked it. I like playing. I've played on stages like that before, but you know, um, everyone seemed to like it. I walked every time I took 10 steps afterwards. They'd come up to me and tell me they liked it, wanted me to sign something. And, uh, you know, they had good things to say. So everyone seemed to like it.
While you guys were performing, Nelson was performing in the Wolf's Den. That's the club there.
Yeah.
And you would think that that would be kind of competing, but Nelson
Yeah.
was not playing Nelson. They were playing Ricky Nelson. It's a tribute to their
Oh,
late father.
okay.
So
No.
I think Traveling Man, I think that's a Ricky Nelson song.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Those are
Ozzy and Harriet, he had a lot of hits. But so it
totally.
was a little bit different. So a lot of nice people here with a lot of nice things to say about Johnny. Uh, Last night was a love fest for Johnny as well, and we'll get to that. Johnny
Oh,
did not wear his Daisy Dukes on the East Coast. Mickey Licks says it was great meeting you, Johnny.
oh yeah. He's a good kid. Got to go.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to go check out his page. He's got a lot of guitars, and he
Hmm.
can play all of them. So go. You know, he's a little shredder, and he's up there singing and commanding the stage, and he was wearing cool stuff. I was watching him. I was exhausted. I was tired just watching it, but he was really good. He's running around, um, doing some good stuff out there in Pennsylvania, right? Pennsylvania,
Long Island.
yeah, Long Island.
The Jason has a good question. Johnny, during the Enough's Enough days, what was the biggest and what were the smallest turnout shows you played? That's a good question.
Well, I mean, I don't think I think everybody has that same can answer that's the same way. You know, the biggest sometimes you play in front of I don't know, like I think we played what I remember one specific for some reason I remember it was with Candlebox. Remember that band?
I do, yeah.
And it was outside, and it was in I think it was in a I don't know if it was in a might have been in this country, but I couldn't see the end of the crowd. It was that many people. I couldn't see the end. Just so many people. And it was a festival. So you can't really take that credit. You know, you could say that you played in front of like 5,000 people. There was probably
Right.
like 20,000 people there or something, but you can't really take that credit at all because there's like 20 bands and, you know, I'm just a guitar player in one of them, but that was probably one of the biggest. I've also played with some of those outdoor fests with like lots of bands like in Europe and stuff. Those can get, you know, 10,000, 5,000.
But have
And
you
the
ever
elite,
played for like four?
yeah.
Well, I
Yeah, I
mean, not.
mean,
I mean, he's asking with Enough's Enough because I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, I don't know about four, but I mean, I've played for just a handful of people too, like a backyard party or something, or uh,
did you see Chips and Up's wedding photos?
yes, I did.
I wish I could put it up. I don't know how to find it. Oh,
So,
Johnny.
well, you know, maybe if you didn't keep whispering to me the entire time, I wouldn't have got sick.
You make it sound like what was it? Whisper. If I was loud, would have it been better?
Well, no, because we talk a lot, and sometimes we're like, you know, we do this to each other, like, you know, just stupid over here. You know, when that happens, next thing I know, it only takes one droplet.
Yeah. I'm very conscious of my bad breath. I apologize. So I like to hold my hand over my mouth so I'm not breathing on people.
No, I do that all the time too. I think it's polite. Mike Varney does that. I noticed. So I think some people either OCD or maybe like overly, but when I do that too, I do this when I talk to somebody because even if you try to hold in, do like circular breathing when you're talking, but you're controlling the breath so it doesn't really fully come out, that one little piece of spit can get past and then it touches your ear. I know how I feel when it happens. I don't ever want to talk to that person again. So I try to do that. I see Japanese girls do that. They go like this when they laugh.
Mhm.
But I don't know why they did that. I think that's different. Maybe it's a polite thing. I think it's a polite, thing. Maybe some people are, self-conscious of certain things, but I do it like, especially in a club. There's nothing worse than some drunk big mouth that's been drinking beer and wants to come up and talk to me fine. And they're like, and they're spitting all over me and I can smell their breath. And then it's going in my breath and I'm inhaling and I'm trying to go like this. And then they're getting closer.
Do you ever just want to go, all right, Scott, go behind the drums, or no?
I try to be nice and end it and walk and get out of there. Otherwise I'm going to have to tell them, look, you're an adult. You're spitting all over me. I could smell your beer breath. You're talking. I don't know what you're talking about. You're not wearing a shirt.
Updates on Jason's merch. I'm working on it. I had an artist do some cool stuff today. We're getting closer. And then Johnny CD. I mean, I don't want to answer for Johnny, but it's soon. We said first quarter. He's still got some mixing to do, right, Johnny?
Yeah, at this point, I'm really just waiting on the artwork. I could keep mixing this thing forever. I am going to make one more pass, but I'm waiting for my buddy Rob Lane over at Straight to Video. He's a good friend of ours from the UK. He's worked on my stuff for the longest time, and I mean, I just trust him. He's got like a good feel of what I like, so I'm kind of waiting for him. Although I can't do it myself. I'm not good with that stuff. I can make it look okay, but he's really good. So as soon as you guys want to send him some emails,
Yeah.
as soon as he does it, I'm gonna, use that disc maker coupon that every couple of weeks I see free shipping, and I'm like, God, I wish I was ready. That'll save me like the shipping,
So yeah. So anyway, it's coming soon. Okay, so that was Mohegan Sun, Connecticut. I'm trying to think if anything else happened there, but it was good. And I remember the meet and greets had long lines, and it was nice to meet so many great people. Took lots of pictures. Johnny made the point that it seems like the show was very popular on the East Coast because a lot of people talked to us about things that they saw on the show and things that they liked, and that's great. It's very nice. And Johnny sold a lot of picks this trip, limited edition collectible picks.
Well,
but anyway, it was
I mean, actually, the design does change every time, so I guess in a way they are kind of limited.
Mhm.
I just don't package it like that.
Yeah. Well, no, but I understand. The next tour diary will be out Monday, and it's a long one, and I don't really remember where we were. Johnny gets into a fight with the people at Starbucks. Arizona, I think. Yeah, I think
That
that's
kid
next.
was that little kid, man. Still mad at him.
So, okay. That's Connecticut. The next morning, we had to get up and drive 4 hours to Long Island, but everyone kept talking about ferries. The ferries were the big thing, people in their ferry dust. And we found out that you can drive 10 minutes from the Mohegan Sun to Larry is making a down payment on Johnny CD apparently, but he likes what he's heard so far. So thank you, Larry. So we got on the ferry. You drive the van onto the boat, and then you can get off. You can eat and walk around and enjoy yourself. Johnny had a black and white cookie because he is fair but equal. But
well, I saw it on Seinfeld, and I
Mhm.
always wondered if they were good, and it's pretty good. It was, but you get the cookie itself was good,
It's that one was kind of It was packaged, obviously, but when you get a real fresh black and white cookie,
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah. It's
Um,
packaged. I guess that's not good.
well, what are you gonna do? We're on a boat. Steven is the only person I know who could go on like the Circle Line boat and have a 4-course meal. He and not gain any weight. He loves to have meals. When they're in the airport, they're gonna have a meal.
Yeah.
You know, whatever it is, he's gonna have something. Are Are we ever going to get some more bed diving? Yeah, ever since my hands were acting up, I took a little break on diving on the beds, and the last bed was very soft. Johnny will tell you.
Oh
I
man.
would, it would not have been a
That,
good landing. I would have been
that
injured.
hotel, man. My back is still sore from those 4 days. I don't know what's going on. It makes
Yeah.
me actually, I'm starting to not, I mean, I don't want to say this because I'm starting to sort of like my bed. Maybe it took a while to break in. Maybe these ones that they make them now takes a while to break in, you know?
Johnny, do
I
you
don't
prefer to play with another guitar player in the band, or do you like to be the lone guitar player?
I think I like to just play. I'd like to be the only guitar player. I mean, unless it was something really specific where the parts are really worked out and it's like some kind of a show, you know, where you're doing certain parts. I like that. But if it's just kind of like two guys just going for it thing, you know, it depends on who the other person is. But I think I prefer just to be the only guitar player. I think that's how I play more. Both
Johnny's
rhythm and
record. Sorry, Johnny. Your
no,
record is
sorry.
independent. People are asking about labels. It's independent. To buy it from Johnny,
Yeah,
and that
I don't know. Yeah, no one's approached me, and I don't really know why I would do it any other way right now. But I don't know what they would really give you. You know, you have to put on their label, and then they pay you a little bit up front, and then they have it forever. Then it's if you share it and stuff, anything you do goes back to them. And sometimes there's copyright infringements with that. So I don't really know what to do. If anyone's got a label and they have a better idea for me, I'll listen to it.
people asking about the cruise. We're going to be on a thing called the '80s cruise. It's not the same as the Monsters of Rock, but
Mm.
we'll be there. Yes, it was a shame we didn't get cheesesteaks, but I think Steven did get to have a Philly cheesesteak. Any
Mm.
thoughts on another cat? Rest in peace, Bitsy. I'm thinking no for a while, maybe one day, but touring, it's hard to take care of a pet, take care of anything,
Mm.
and it's so heartbreaking losing a pet that you don't really want to do it again. And so, and maybe it's somewhere down the road, I'd like to raise money for people who foster animals and do nice things. I can't do it myself, but I wouldn't mind contributing and maybe doing some charities. Did you ask Sebastian about an interview? Well, I had an interesting conversation with him. Johnny and I closed out the night yesterday around 2 in the morning. He sat under the screen while his own music videos played. But we'll get to that. You guys are asking a lot of questions, and they're
Mm.
good questions.
So
Will
weird.
Johnny be able to personalize his CDs when it comes? If you mean will he sign them to you, he will. Johnny will customize
Yeah.
each order, which is probably why it's better. And yes, thank you for the kind words about my cat Bitsy. So um, that was Connecticut. We get on the boat. We go across. We get to Long Island. It was only about an hour drive. The less time you spend driving, the better. It was nice being on a boat.
Mm.
So on a mother effing boat with
Mm.
our flippy
Mm.
floppies. So
Mm. Mm.
we went to
Mm.
the hotel. Those hotels were fine. The Holiday Inns they were fine. The
Mm.
last night was probably the best one. It stayed warm, which was a hard thing to do. These hotels they put a cap on the heat. You can't turn it up past say 70, 72. If I want it to be 97, I should be allowed. So instead, I have to run all the hot water and I steam the room.
Mm.
But anyway, so the final show was in Long Island at the Patchogue Theater. A lot of my old friends were there. My friend Scott, he was. We were in a band for like I think 3 days, and we wrote a couple songs together. I hadn't seen him in 30 something years, and he was there. And my buddy Holden, who was on the Long Island episode, when we got stranded, Johnny wasn't in the episode because he didn't want to go out again. He didn't have any clothes or anything else. Pretty miserable time. He was there. And then when I was a young man, I was on the cover of a magazine called Scholastic Magazine. And the young lady on the cover of the magazine with me, I found the magazine, it's 35 years old, and I posted it on my social media, and I found her. And her sister is a bodybuilder named Gladys Portuguese, and she's pretty ripped, to say the least.
Yeah.
When we were kids, my family and her family lived on the same street, a street named Seaman Avenue, and her house was in the cross street of, I don't know if I can say this, they'll take away my ads. Well, it was called Cumming Street. And her other cross street from there was Dykeman. This is all real. And if they try to say this isn't suitable, I'm going to appeal. So, I mean, this is the name of the street. Anyway, her sister was married to an actor named Jean-Claude Van Damme, who at the time had been in a movie called
Bloodsport.
No Retreat. Well, yes, that too. But No Retreat, No Surrender was his first one. And then Bloodsport was coming out. You're right. No, Bloodsport. You know, in Bloodsport, he fights Bolo from Enter the Dragon. Johnny is a Bruce Lee fan, as myself. Yeah.
Who does?
And
Bolo.
his name. That's the big. That is his big scene. Bolo wasn't even his real name, but the movie was so popular, he changed his name to Bolo. So anyway, so she came to the show. I haven't seen her in 100 years. When you see your friends you haven't seen, you wonder what they look like. So I'm looking all out in the crowd, and I'm seeing old ladies. I'm thinking maybe this is her. What I did is I called her, and I looked to see who answers their phone. And then when I saw her, I realized she didn't look any different than she did in school.
Yeah.
And Johnny met her as well. And I'd shown everyone the cover, and it was nice. And she was a very New Yorker. Her and her friend, they were very New Yorkers. They, forget about it, and thick accents, and it was funny, and it made for a great episode of an upcoming tour diary. So you'll see all those things, and it was a good show. That was the show that I would say probably was the least of crowded. It was a Sunday night. It was cold.
Yeah.
But it was a good set. The set that night was Out of the Cellar, I Want a Woman, Nobody Rides for Free, You're in Love, Lay It Down. I think that's a good set list. Jay Lee says, Jason Green interview on that classic metal show was awesome. Any other interviews we could catch you on? I don't like to do a lot of interviews, and I don't like to be on channels that don't get more than my age in views. I think it looks bad. If I go on a channel and there's 12 people watch it, what does that say about me? If 100 people watch it, what does that say? So I don't do interviews. That metal show, I knew what I was doing. The idea was that I would go on and make a point about someone I had a discrepancy with. And in that 40-minute interview, I wouldn't allow them to speak. It was the biggest interview in the history of that channel. And it was damn good. I made my point. So, but I'm thinking about doing interviews. And Johnny as well, John and I have talked about this. People would love Johnny to come on their podcast. One, I think people expect Johnny to come on and they'll miraculously have a lot of views. And same with me. They think, well, you'll come on my show and then I'll get 354 people currently watching. But it doesn't always work that way. And sometimes you can keep doing these things without something to say. And when Johnny's record is out, Johnny will probably do some things to promote it. And for me, maybe when I have merch or something, I don't know. I would do an interview with somebody that I think would be good at interviewing me. But questions like, how did you get started? I mean, I tell you that every week right here. So someone said, I think Stephen just came on the show. Well, Stephen left an hour ago. Okay. Yeah, see, there's already offers for Johnny in the chat. Right? They would like Johnny to come on their show. So who knows?
I don't really do that. I don't do that a lot because I don't. I mean, there's nothing really interesting to talk about. If you want to ask me about like music stuff, but how I learned guitar and stuff, who cares? I come on here because we talk about different stuff. But if I go on another show like that, I doubt that's going to be the same way. It's going to be like question answer stuff, and yeah, it's not going to be good.
Well, Johnny has his own podcast where you can listen to. If you want to learn about Johnny's life, he has that. It's at johnnymonaco.com. And Johnny's done interviews on this channel as well, so people can hear that. Okay, so we went to Long Island, and then we came home. It's one of those days that it felt like we were on planes for 400 years. It's just painful. And, as soon as you land in Vegas, you go, oh, we made it again, for a few days. I would say other than me getting sick and Johnny getting sick at the end, there was no major catastrophes. I think everyone got along pretty well. It's not always the case. I think that the shows were good, and so all of those things were great. I'm trying to skim the comments. As far as guests go, Friday Steve Rosen will be here. He wrote the book about Eddie Van Halen, Tone Chaser, and he's got a lot of great Eddie Van Halen stories. So he has hours and hours of recordings of Eddie Van Halen just shooting the shit, so to speak. And so anyway, you'll check that out. New Tour Diary. So we came home, and Johnny and I were invited to Chuck Brennan's birthday party. Chuck Brennan owns Dollar Loan Center. I thought Stephen was going to stop and talk to us about it, but it didn't happen. So Johnny and I weren't sure we were going to go. You get tired, and then you see the same people. So, and then Johnny doesn't have to worry about people hating him as much as people hate me. But whenever I enter a building, there's a chance that someone dislikes me. So,
like a church?
Yeah, much like a church. So we went to, it was an all-star birthday party. And we went to the club. And when we got there, we were greeted by Craig Gass, comedian Craig Gass.
Oh, yeah.
Craig is playing in Las Vegas this weekend at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. And if you want to go, there's a few tickets left. Go see him. He's a funny guy, and he does all kinds of impressions. And I had these flags. They were. I know. I don't think they're going to pick it up like that, though. These flags were made in. Maybe I'll show them. Johnny, you talk for 1 second. I'll show people the flags and some other things.
Yeah, I'm looking at these questions here. The potato is in the refrigerator and almost on his way to heaven. I have a hard time letting things go. Snoop through my plastic bins. I don't know what that means. I don't have those. I throw my garbage out once a day. Put them in small bags, like when you go to the grocery store. I don't like to keep garbage in the house.
Yeah, me neither. Julie Keller purchased this for me. This is the Halloween 3 box set, Season of the Witch. Michael Myers wasn't in this movie.
This girl, she is so great. She made us both bracelets.
Yeah.
She gave you that awesome gift. She gave me Dove chocolate because she knows I like Dove chocolate. I almost ate the whole bag already. And she's a dancer,
She's a romancer, Capricorn. He's Cancer.
She puts together great little videos. She made a couple with me. There's one of Tracy Guns though too. So I don't know. But she's really good at like coming up with the right music for the vibe of what is being filmed. And the kids know how to do the editing better. My editing looks like, doesn't look right. They know how to do it with the transitions and I gotta get better at that. But she did a couple videos, so if you go to her Julie Keller's page, you'll see it.
Yeah, well, Julie's here. Julie could share a link.
Oh, okay. There you go, Julie. There she is.
Yeah, there she is. Yeah.
She's really good. She's really good. She at the cinematography stuff. I mean, I think I'm pretty good. And I usually, when I see stuff, people, they're not very good. But I think it's a youth thing. Like kids just know how to do it or something. I don't know.
This is a cocked and loaded flag. And they used to have these things at the state fair. You would throw a needle or a pin into a balloon, and you know what I mean, or filled the clown's head with water, and then they would give you one of these flags. I have two of them. This one that is signed by Kelly Nichols the other day. Phil Lewis last night. The late great Steve Riley signed this in 2001. Tracy Guns, who is not a fan of signing memorabilia, he believes that he is very important, apparently. Exhausting. He signed it in 2000, and the very elusive Mick Cripps. Anyway, I have two of these. Phil was nice enough to finish them last night, and I learned that Phil is quite the collector of memorabilia himself. He got Mike Reno to autograph his Loverboy records, and Phil was kind of starstruck. He told him, these are my personal records, and I am a gigantic fan." And he asked Mike Reno for singing lessons.
Well,
he said, "Darling, would you ever consider singing lessons for me? I would love to study with you." I think he was pulling his balls a little bit, but it was
whoa.
you know what I mean. But it was interesting. So let's talk about the party.
He came over to me and he kissed me. So
Mike Reno or Phil Lewis?
Phil Lewis.
He was excited to see you.
Mike Reno we don't know each other that well, but
he gave you a reach around,
hugged me and we embraced, and then give me a little kiss. I don't like when men kiss me with facial hair.
Mm-hmm.
I like a smooth surface.
He had an interesting outfit on, and Phil and I have made up. But I will say, Johnny, you described it. Tell me the words you use, because I think it's accurate.
Why don't you do it? I don't remember what I said.
I don't think Phil would mind. I really don't. He said that he looked like a cross between Santa Claus and Dracula, kind of like the Gary Oldman Dracula.
Dracula Claus.
Yes. I don't know what Phil is thinking. He obviously he wants people to talk about these outfits that he wears, and
I think he just likes to mix it up a little bit,
Yeah, I think he got bored of wearing black. Yeah, I agree.
Going to mix it up a little bit tonight. I'll put on a little, then you'll put on some, then you'll get a little, then I'll put a little in, then you do it, then I do it, then we're talking about clothes, right?
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that's what you're talking about. So it was an interesting lineup. Chuck Brennan, the owner of Dollar Loan Center, he's always been very good to me. He's good to most people in the rock community. He's never broken my legs for not paying him back a debt or anything like that. I flew on his private plane once with Winger. We flew from New Mexico to Las Vegas. I was deathly afraid. I'm not going to lie. Those planes are tiny.
Yeah. Weird.
Red Beach was incredibly scared. It drove him to drink.
Yeah.
And we had but anyway, Chuck Brennan really does a lot. He does a lot for charity. He does a lot for the rock and roll community, and he likes to throw a wild party. He likes to throw a party. So the idea was Chuck introduces himself, talks about it, and lets you guys know that you're all a bunch of ungrateful jerks. And
he was funny at the end. He was crazy.
Yeah, you don't deserve this party.
Well, when you got that much money, you could just tell people what you think.
Mm-hmm. And then you'll line up and kiss his ring like we did at the end of the night.
Yeah,
so
I'm okay with that.
So he, the party begins, and the opening act was they stumped me and Johnny. It was I've heard of the band and I had heard of the song, but not in a million years could I pull it out. It was the band was called Driving and Crying, and the singer, I don't know his name, I apologize, but the song was called Fly Me Courageous. And they played a song with the Counts band backing them up. Drummer Jeff Tatora was in my band, Sin City Rejects. And so that was how the night kicked off. He played his song, Fly Me Courageous, his hit. And then next up, Johnny, who was next?
That person's name was Kevin Kinney.
Oh, thank you. Kevin Kinney. Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe the guy would have been interesting on the show. I guess I could get his number from Chuck.
I thought he was pretty good. I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I didn't know that band, but I know that they're supposed, they did a lot of stuff, and he was very specific on who he picked. He picked bands that he liked, which he should. It was his
His
party.
party. Yep.
He could pick a band if he
After
wants to.
him, I don't remember the exact order. I have the script somewhere, but I believe
After that, was it Kip Winger?
I think Little Kippy Winger. That's what Gene Simmons said. The name sounds like. He said it sounds like the Mickey Mouse Club, Little Kippy Winger. But Kip Winger is an incredible musician, and his songs are not jammy. On the way over, I said to Johnny, Red Beach pointed out that he's never seen anyone play the intro to 17 right. He made a video looking at other people playing it and analyzing, and then he showed the correct way to play it. It sounds like it's a little an easy thing, but it's not.
It's not easy. Yeah, it's tricky.
But they did their best. They had some tuning issues, and Kip kind of had to stop a song and start again. That's always rough. But at the end of the day, it was fun. They played "Can't Get Enough," which is an easier, as far as Winger songs go, and 17, which is a hit. They were not going to play anything like "Headed for a Heartbreak." Those songs are really crazy. After him, was it the Lumberjack?
Oh God, yeah.
Jesse James Dupree.
Yeah, he's a nice guy. Remember, we had breakfast with him once. He didn't have the chainsaw at the time, but he just had a fork. But yeah, he does the thing with the chainsaw, and it's loud, and you can smell the gas. But then he actually saws a chair in half. I thought it was a fake chainsaw. Like I'm thinking, there's no way he's got a real chainsaw, but he chops a chair in half, and there's stuff going everywhere in the monitors all over the place. But that's what they paid him to come out to do. They like the people. It's like when Gallagher smashes the watermelon. So he did all that, and I'm thinking, how is it possible that all these years have gone by and he hasn't like chopped off a leg or at least a finger?
I thought that too.
It's got to happen, right?
Yeah,
I'm not trying to want it to happen. I'm just saying, what the odds are against you. And anytime you're with a chainsaw, it's a dangerous tool.
You had some issues checking your guitars. Do you think he ever has a problem with that chainsaw getting on the plane?
What's in the? Could you put this in the closet? Yeah, I don't know, but I know.
I'm assuming the chainsaw is on the rider and it's a backline.
I mean, there's probably a lot of times when you're on a flight like that where you'd like to have a chainsaw.
True. It's a stool, and it was in the dressing room, and his tech comes running back and grabs this wooden stool. Somebody lost their seat.
Chopped it right in half.
Right in half. And
then he held it up, and then on the way out, he kept going rah, 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 and he was like in the backstage going rah, rah, and everyone's like, this was the best thing ever.
Mm-hmm. I was kind of entertained.
I mean, I could see where that would sell. The people, they liked it, and they went outside and got in their Dodge and left.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just rambling off names. Davy Vane of Vane.
Yeah, Davey, cool.
Everybody who watches the show says, "When are you going to have Davy Vane on?" And him and I corresponded, and he said, "I would love to do it." And then he disappeared. And this happened a few times. Last night he told me, "I have a record coming soon, and you're going to get the first and only or whatever interview. It's coming." So he will be here, Davy Vane. And Davy Vane is a fan of Johnny Monaco. After the show, we spoke to him, and he was asking Johnny questions about Enough's Enough and his music. And he was a nice guy. He was a nice guy.
I liked him. Yeah, I thought he was nice.
Definitely not a household name, but if you know it, or like it. And so that was Davy Vane. And then Mike Reno of Loverboy.
Mm-hmm.
Talk about a interesting a move, not like the others. One of them's not like the rest. He was great. He played the song called "The Kid Is Hot Tonight," I believe.
Yep.
He played the "Turn Me Loose."
Yep.
And of course, everybody's working for the weekend.
Yeah, those songs are really good. That era of song gives me, at least when I hear a song like that, it reminds me of a certain time. Like it kind of somehow brings you back to that. I think that's like, people like music's magic, but it does have something to do with when you hear something or some kind of sensation, if you taste something or smell something, it reminds you of a certain thing. And that at least reminds me of my youth. So those other ones, not so much, but that one did.
Yeah. Mark points out Vane's guitar player Delana, who Johnny and I met, she's making Satriani's amps for the
Oh, yeah.
Van Halen tour. Yeah.
Really good amp builder. Good guitar player too.
Yeah. So, okay.
If I had a couple in me.
Yeah.
Not true.
I was trying to think of how to say it. Mike Reno did have the headband.
Yeah.
Then they switched bands, house bands, and they added Glenn Sobel on the drums. He's from the Alice Cooper band.
Oh yeah, he's in that band.
Brent Woods from the Sebastian Bach band, who seems to be in every one of these jams. Zach Throne, who was on Beverly Hills 90210 and How Do You Talk to an Angel, and also The Heights, and he's in Corey Taylor's band, and he was there, and Robbie Crane of Rat on the bass, and at that point, I'm trying to think of who else they.
Oh, you missed Jizzy Pearl. He came up with a song.
Oh yeah. Oh, hold on. Look who's here. Matt Thorne is here.
Oh, hey Matt.
Matt, it's nice to see you. Thank you for coming in to help. We needed a last second help because I don't know if you saw Steven's appearance.
No, I didn't. What happened?
He hit me up this morning, or Christy hit me up, and they had this idea for an event that they wanted me to promote. And then Steven decided he didn't want to announce said event. And then they said, well, we'll do something else. And then we said, well, why don't we do something special for the fans where they can, if they buy a CD today, Steven will throw in a photo and autograph them. There's the link in the description. And for the next 24 hours. And he seemed fine. And he said to me before, here's the things I want to talk about. And I said, okay. And he came on for 3 minutes.
Did they have technical difficulties?
Say it again?
Did they have technical difficulties?
No. He just didn't want to be bothered. He said that this is a teaser. And he said, I'm signing these CDs and see you guys later.
Well,
so I was planning on talking to him. A lot of people excited to see Matt here. And we'll talk about, now that Matt, everyone, a lot of Matt fans, we'll talk about Matt and things that we all did together on the trip. Matt, we're just finishing up telling stories about last night. We went to this Chuck Brennan thing. You know Chuck Brennan. And
the dollar guy? The dollar
loan center. Yeah, Johnny works for him now. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Dollar loan Johnny.
Oh, I see that. Yeah. I didn't notice. I need to make my screen bigger. Okay.
They sell pills for that. So so anyway, we saw Jizzy Pearl from Love Hate. Jizzy Pearl is also the other voice of Rat. You know that, right?
I did. There's a lot of voices of Rat that I didn't know about. I knew there was the bass player. I think there's a bass player version of the other voice of Rat. Then there's our voice, who's the voice of Rat. And then there's now I hear there's a Jizzy Pearl, the other voice of Rat.
He was a voice of Rat for 8 years. So he played his song Blackout in a Red Room from Love Hate.
I love that song. I like that song.
It was good. Mike Reno of Loverboy was there. And Bruce Kulick came backstage. And Steven thinks, well, Bruce Kulick thought that Steven thought he was Bob Kulick. Steven didn't think that, but Steven thinks that Bruce might have kind of shunned him or something. I don't know. It was very strange.
Now, Bob Kulick was the guy who did the Cleopatra stuff, right? He was like, okay.
His brother was he was bald, and he was in a relationship with Stella Stevens. Yeah. Well, Bob Kulick looked like Ming the Merciless.
Yeah.
And
so why
but
did
he was
one brother go bald and the other one didn't? Did one shave his head, or the other one has some kind of
It's a good question. Bob
a doctor was involved.
Bob
Huh?
was older, so I don't know. Bruce says he's coming on the show soon. I'll ask him, why aren't you bald? Matt Thorne. Matt Thorne would like
That'd
to
be
know.
awkward.
Well,
so, if you're asking the person who's not bald, why aren't you bald? That's kind of a compliment, I would assume, right?
I think so.
It's better than asking the guy's bald. Why are you bald?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, I think so. Anyway, he was there, and all these stars were coming backstage. Johnny was sitting with Mike Varney, who discovered every shredder there was back in the day.
Sure.
Mike
Is he a
Varney,
producer? Is he a producer guy?
He was a producer and a record company executive, I suppose. It's Shrapnel Records. He brought Ingve to America, and he discovered Paul Gilbert, Marty Friedman, Jason Becker, Richie Kotzen. Am I missing anybody, Johnny?
Any more? Tony McAlpine. I think even Guthrie Govan from back in the day, but he's all those kind of guitar players. For some reason, he found them all.
And
now, those guys all taught at the place you went to school, right, Johnny?
Some of them did. Some of them went to Florida. Some went to Berkeley. I think it was because at the time he used to write a column in the back of Guitar Player magazine. It was called Spotlight Column.
Okay.
And people would send him tapes to get in that column. So he would find all these young guitar players that wanted to be in the magazine. But he's also.
You in the column?
Yep.
What is your issue, Johnny, in case fans want to get it?
It's the special amp issue. It's from
July 1974.
Funny. It was a while ago though. Yeah. I mean, I was
Kiss Alive came out. He wasn't even alive.
22 or something. It was really early on. Yeah, it was. But
I mean, I bet you there's someone who would like to go on eBay and have it as a collector's item. It's probably a pretty rare thing. The Guitar Spotlight. A lot of famous guys were in that. You can find it. I believe Buckethead was in there too. His name is Brian Carroll. But
Alan Halsworth, Paul Gilbert, Alan Halsworth, I think there's a lot. Everybody was, back in the day.
Were you called Johnny Monaco? I'm assuming.
Just John. That's why he calls me that, probably. That's probably why he calls me. He corrected himself last night. It's just weird though when someone like that calls you Johnny. That it didn't, that was my name later on, but he calls me by him and
now
my
it's
mother.
Dollar Loan Johnny. It's longer. Am I going to have to call you that?
If you want a loan, you will.
That's true.
High interest.
Do I have to fill out an application?
Well, not at our place. The rules are fast and loose.
Oh, okay.
I don't want to hear any complaining when you have to pay 38% interest.
Okay, that's high. Jesus.
I'm guessing it's probably high.
We'll wrap up this party, and then Matt will talk about a little bit about the trip. Mike Reno from Loverboy, Jizzy Pearl, Sebastian Bach, and I'm hoping I'm not forgetting anybody. Everyone would come up and do one or two songs, and then they would introduce the next person. Oh, Taime Downe of Faster Pussycat.
Right.
Bill Lewis of LA Guns. Yeah. And then Stephen Pearcy, he played Lack of Communication, Wanted Man, and Round and Round.
Mm-hmm.
And,
wait a minute. Is that the video you sent me, Johnny?
Yeah. I was trying to.
Actually, those guitar solo harmonies were right.
I didn't. You might want to listen to that again.
I mean, I listened to it very quickly, yeah. But I was wondering, why is he sending me this? But now I get it. You were there.
He was there.
I don't know. I mean, it was fine, I guess. I don't know.
So we're backstage, and this guy walks in, and his name is Dexter from the Offspring. Oh, yeah. And I made the point that the Offspring is probably maybe sold the most records of any band there, and definitely is the only band that's still playing arenas. No disrespect to anyone there. They're all talented.
Really?
Yeah. They're playing an arena here in Vegas. And they also do those big festivals with other 90s bands. These My Chemical Romance type bands can play stadiums. And
My Chemical Romance for sure.
And they jump on they're on a lot of those bills. That band has been around since I was in high school.
Yeah,
it was a lot more punk.
90s, right? Early 90s. Green Day and that came out at the same time.
Yes. And this singer, Dexter, I featured his hot sauce on the show, and I talked to him about it. He has a PhD in like molecular science, and he wrote a thesis on. The guy's a genius, and he plays in a punk band. But so Stephen and I talked to him, and he was incredibly nice. And I sent Michelle the itinerary of the bands performing, and she said the guitar player in the Offspring, his name is Noodles, and she said to me, "What is Noodles?" And I said, "Well, it could be any one of the guitar players on the bill, but it happens to be the name of the guy in the Offspring, Noodles." But they were very nice. They closed the set. They played 3 Offspring songs. It was fun. And you know what I thought? Sometimes the guys who were in the hard rock bands might not like that kind of thing, but Johnny and everyone else really enjoyed it. Right, Johnny?
Yeah, I thought they were really good.
Yeah.
Now, that's what Steven calls guitar players. Yeah, noodlers.
Mm-hmm.
He calls himself a yodeler, and he calls guitar players noodlers.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Question is, when is Matt's birthday? I'm thinking he's a Pisces.
No. I'm a Taurus.
Matt is a Taurus. So you got that one wrong. We'll give you one more guess. All right. Looking at all these.
I sold one pick today.
Say it again?
I sold a pick today, which was unusual, just to sell a pick on
that's
shop.
A good point.
And I'm wondering if you mentioned on your show, that's the time I sell the most is when, but it was a $10 purchase because I charged $5 to ship. So I sold one pick today.
They should have took a CD with that. I will point out, Matt's not just here for his health. He has a CD that's available. I have it right here in my hands. You sold a lot of them the other night.
Let me see if I get a. Let me see it right now. If I get a. No.
Yeah, Johnny. Wait. Yeah, Matt. Listen for the alert.
Ding! Yeah, that's what I wait for.
This CD, though, because of the dates, was #1 on the Uncasville charts. This is the #1 instrumental bass album, funk album. It currently in Uncasville, Connecticut. Also, you really sold a lot of these things, enough to go tin. And then in Long Island, you sold a bunch too. So if we sell 1 or 2 of these tonight, you will have the #1 funk instrumental bass album produced in 2024 in Burbank, California. So listen, we're looking to set the tracks, the world on fire. The record, by the way, because Johnny was asking me what it's called. It's called Back the Funk Up. So Back the Funk Up is available. Johnny, do you have one of these?
I don't have a CD player.
No, nobody does.
Have you heard it though?
These aren't listened to. They're just novelty things.
Yeah, I hear it. I hear it at sound check every time we play.
Mm-hmm. It's good. Well, it drowns out.
What did I play? Jungle Boogie last sound check.
It drowns out the other noise, Johnny. So
you mean the yelling and screaming?
Yeah.
Explaining to people that we do three-part barbershop quartet harmonies.
We're equal level.
That's 3 CDs more than some.
That is correct. So anyway, if you'd like one of these, Matt will personalize it. Matt, where do they buy it though?
On Shopify.
No, but they need a site.
Oh, what is it? Matt. I'll have to look. I can't remember. It's like MattFordShopify.com. I think that's it.
Just scream out your window. Yeah. I need that CD.
Matt, let me see if that's it. Oh yeah, that's it.
Siri.
MattThorne.shopify.com. That's it.
Okay, but is there a MattThorne.com or something that's connected to?
Siri.
No, you just buy it there. Just this place.
Siri, one CD, funk CD. Back it up.
Johnny's getting one now. Yeah.
So you just go there. Shop all. This is what's funny. You think there's going to be a big store here, and there's just a pick and that's it.
Do you think it's a good idea to share a QR code on your phone when you need a phone to scan a QR code?
I think that's the equivalent of trying to take a picture of your phone.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, I don't know if it's gonna.
I don't know how you would do that. You're supposed to use your phone on the QR code. So if you're on social media, and because I'm getting ready to open my store, I'm going to be selling auto parts. But
No, you're
You
gonna
need
sell.
a lower control arm.
You know what I thought was cool? You had those pick guards. I like those. Those were cool. Where did you get those?
those were made by a fan, Dave.
Those were cool.
Dave.
You should sell something like that's really cool.
Yeah. Remember,
Yeah.
you met him at the whiskey. He was at the whiskey. You met him.
Oh,
Yeah.
Dave,
He comes to a
Dave
lot
Wall.
of shows. Dave Balls.
Johnny, you
Nice
should
guy.
sell pick guards, but you don't have a pick guard on your guitar, do you? Do you have a pick guard?
He does. Johnny
it
does.
me?
He added white one.
Oh, okay, that's right.
Yeah.
Stand next to
He,
the guy for like 2 years. He doesn't know if I have a pick guard on my pick.
Well,
guitar.
it's just like I keep looking at the green guitar, and that doesn't have pick guard.
No, that doesn't. It's just kind of like doesn't like no hair kind of pick guard, no pick guard. That's how you can remember that.
Bruce Kulick, Bob Kulick, yeah.
I wasn't
Mhm.
talking about him.
So we should wrap up that story so we can talk about other things. I'm looking for the Matt Thorne link. I found it here. mattthorne.myshopify.com. I'd like to sell some of these. There's only a few left, so this is really it. Here we go. So right there is the link. If you guys want to get one of these, Matt will sign it to you, and you can also purchase one of his picks. Okay, so there's the link. Make sure you get that. Back
Now, Jason, you know these when you do Shopify for the first 3 months, it's only $1 a month. So you should do that. You should do it too.
I'm gonna do it for 3 months and get rid of it.
I just sell them off my website. If they want them, they want them. If not, what am I going to do?
The reason my argument to that is that Shopify is it's a trusted site and it's easy.
Well, the people usually just Venmo and then I just send it to them in the mail.
That's true.
Either way, it's not going to get me. I'm not going to be able to buy a house.
No, it's lunch
money. Matt, they want to know if they can get bass tabs with the CD.
Oh Jesus! Now
seems like a lot. That's a lot of work.
I don't even know notes, let alone tabs.
It seems a lot of work.
No. I can tell you what key the song's in. How about that? I can tell you what bass I played on. I think it says on the record, and maybe I could tell you what key it's in.
Here's my link.
I can put it in the what I played.
Okay, Johnny. When I see it, I'm going to highlight. I haven't seen it yet, though.
All right. There we go. Look at that.
Pet Paradise Rock Station would like to play Matt's music on his internet radio station. So that would be good. Gary Busey is here. Welcome, Gary. He said, Mr. Thorne, do you remember from Phil's house back in the 80s?
Do I? I don't think so.
He doesn't remember. Matt's done a lot of experimental medicine since then. All right. But so
not true.
So I was standing on the stairs watching on the side of the stage, watching the Offspring, and Sebastian Bach was next to me. And then Phil Lewis came up and he stood next to me. And Sebastian Bach was looking at us with this look of shock. And he said, dude, you guys hate each other. And I was like, how does Sebastian Bach know this? He never answers my messages. And he goes, it's all over the internet. Dude, you guys are enemies. And then I thought he was going to say, like, to Phil, like, you know what he says you do with spoons? You know, and I was like, oh, fuck. I'm like, Sebastian, it's all better now. You know?
Yeah, cut it.
And Phil told him, oh, darling, we're mates again, you know. And but it means that Sebastian watches this show, which I suspected. A lot of people watch it and don't admit it, and they also watch.
I gotta say, look, see how your show works.
Have we sold one?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't see anything, but I see the beach.
Well, you can't see anything, but
this guy's unstoppable.
It says Shopify alert. So thanks, Jason.
Oh, good.
I'm gonna have to start giving you money for this shit. So anyway, Sebastian said. So Sebastian was trying to get you guys to come out and say what was really the problem.
He just didn't believe it, but he didn't act like he knew that you know, he never mentions my show or anything. I know I've had people on the show that he doesn't like, that he doesn't get along with, and I always think that he might have an issue with it. I've never had another member of Skid Row on because I'm waiting for Sebastian to come on, but he's a hard guy to talk to. I tried to tell him last night, and I've known him for a long time. I've been to his house. We've watched TV together and gone to events together. But I try to tell him that I'm a little bit younger than a lot of the guys. I'm a little younger than you guys, and when I was a kid, Sebastian Bach was kind of a big deal. I grew up in New York City. Sebastian's an East Coast guy. And, he was kind of an angry guy and the youth gone wild. I was still youth at that point. And he seemed to like the compliment, but it's been hard to get a rapport with him lately. I told him that I'd see him on the cruise because we'll be on the 80s cruise. And I don't think he even knew we were going on a cruise.
Have you ever? So there's these three guys. I think I talked to you about it out there. There's three guys that always hang out together. There's Phil Suzanne, Sebastian Bach, and Paul Shortino, and their wives. Have you had any of those people on besides Paul? I know you've had Paul on there.
I had Paul. I haven't had Phil, but Phil told me he would do it. We spoke at one of these events, and he said he would do it. So that would probably be good. And we'll probably have Paul back. So anyway, it was a great time. Johnny and I wanted to make sure we lined up to kiss Chuck's ring at the end and tell him how great an event it was and how honored we were to be there. And we did that. And then I talked to Mike Varney a little bit, and I asked him to come on the show, and he's a little elusive about doing it, but maybe one day. And then I told the story. Sebastian Bach was having a nice glass of wine while they played the 18 and Light video literally over his head. And he didn't look up or even act like he knew it was on, but he had to. And who else did we see there at the end, Johnny?
Chris Angel was there.
Oh, Chris Angel, that's right. 1 second he's here, 1 second he's there.
And he grabbed the Loverboy guy at the very end, and he did one of these, like, come back and speak to us, please. I'm also a millionaire. Come over here. And he did. And they talked, and they took a photo, and then they did more of this, and they hugged. Very blessed to be, the Shell game. You got to be very blessed to do the Shell game. And then Chris Kattan, who sort of he was there. Reminds me a little bit of Simon Bar Sinister, underdog character. He was there, and he was plotting and scheming, and he was there for a little bit. Saw him.
He played the character Mango on Saturday Night Live, and he looked like Mango.
Then the drummer, we talked about him already.
We talked to Glenn Sobel for a while.
That's right. He was there. We talked to Sebastian wife's wife for a little bit.
Don't let him hear that.
We spoke to, he runs his house with an iron fist. And then we spoke to Brent Woods. He was very nice.
Brent Woods said, first thing he said is, he goes, all right, let's hear it. I know I suck. Tell me how bad I am. Because Johnny was watching him and filming him the whole night and really made Brent Woods uncomfortable and put him out of his game.
I've never seen him play.
Well, Johnny can send you video, but Johnny evaluated him. But he was so kind afterwards. And he did say that he was at the whiskey show and he sat on Johnny's side and he thought that Johnny was a great addition to the band. He said he believes that Johnny should play all the Warren parts and that he really thought it was played incredibly well. And he said that I
saw a video of You're in Trouble solo. It was, dude, you ripped on it. Seriously.
It's getting there.
You would probably say you didn't like it, but I thought it was incredible.
I shot the video.
It was good.
It's getting there. I just, some of these songs I can sit here and play them, but to pull them off on stage
it's different. It's just
the problem is I think a lot about other stuff. Like I'll be in the middle of a solo I'm like thinking about something completely unrelated. I need to learn how to focus. What do you think by now? And that's when I start screwing up. So
I think everybody does that. Once you get up there, there's so many distractions. There's just stuff going on that
you got to just
hard to
be,
it's hard to block it out.
Yeah, got to be a little bit of a sociopath and just have no feeling and just focus on what you're doing. And I think I could do it.
Well,
Brent Woods was a student of Randy Rhoads. When Randy Rhoads went on tour with Ozzy, Brent became, I believe George Lynch took over his teaching.
Yeah. He was very nice. He said very nice things, and you know, I wasn't. I was just watching them, and you know, I was there, so I had to watch, and people kept asking me like, "Go up there, get up there," you know.
And Johnny would have played. You know, Stephen kind of forgets to mention things. They would have been fine. They just would have wanted Johnny to come to the sound check, but things kind of got lost in translation. Otherwise, you know, it would have made sense. Johnny lives in Las Vegas to play, so probably the next time they do one of these things.
It was fine. I don't mind just hanging out. I mean, you know, I was tired anyways. I don't feel good.
Where was it? Where was it? Vamped?
Yeah. It was at Vamped.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Craig Gass said that his favorite moment on this show was when Johnny's neighbor came to the door, and he said he thought it was a setup. He thought for sure that we arranged that, which is the best way to think that we were smart enough to make that up, that some woman. But so he obviously watches the show as well. I was talking a little bit earlier about our traveling and our first night in Baltimore, and I made the point that you can't eat fried food, Matt. Johnny and I would have been fine going to Subway or Chick-fil-A or anything, but you needed to have the finest Baltimore had to offer in the middle of the night. Say it again?
It was freezing.
It was freezing. It was 18 degrees as we ventured across the Hoth planet to a place called Kona.
That's right.
Kona. It was incredibly expensive.
Now, did you tell them how we had to take the murder street there, which was
we went through the Blacklight district. Yes. I explained that there was adult stores, adult clubs, adult theaters, and that we were the first three white people since Mo, Larry, and Curly to go by.
That place sucked, and that thing I got because you got it. Oh, let's get the healthy choice. All right, what is it?
Yeah, it wasn't great. It wasn't great, but it was expensive.
It's too hot.
It was $40. We spent $40 a piece, and then Jason and I ate the next day at Phillips, which is a high-end place, and we bought our crab cakes. We had crab cakes, clam chowder, all this stuff, asparagus, and it was less money than the Kung Pao place we went to.
That was terrible.
Yeah, you guys had a stir fry, but it had like some atomic sauce in it.
It's too hot.
That seemed to be too hot. I had a burger that was very average.
Yeah, that place sucked.
Your burger did look good, I got to say. It looks
probably better than
I keep getting these dishes that I think are going to be healthy, and then I get them and I'm disappointed. Like I think it happened also in a casino when I got the chicken something. It was like these fried things.
Nobody does anything right anymore. They're all a bunch of idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people.
But our service was good there. You have to admit.
Yeah, she was fine.
Yeah, it wasn't her fault. Johnny had. What'd you have? A cream soda?
Yeah, it was all right. She was saying it was like the best thing ever.
It was a Jones. It was a Jones bottled soda.
It was just okay. It was okay.
She said most crackers who come here enjoy this. But, you know.
Now, have you shown the sloth yet?
No, I told the story a little bit about how. Well, I made the point that you're an expert in all things aquatic and aviary. And that you are a parrot owner. But as we walked through the place, you identified every animal. It's weird. You go into this enclosure and they tell you that the animals are just running around. So I said, Matt, look at that wild animal on the floor. And he said, that's a rat. And it was some form of vermin. But
you did get pooped on.
And I did, yeah. I mean, I guess it's lucky, but some bird targeted me. But they said there was poisonous spiders and
frog, poison arrow frog.
Right. And you'll see the video of Matt identifying all these things. Some of the words for these creatures, if you said it one letter off or a slight pronunciation, could be horrible and cost me monetization. So we'll see what happens on the show. I do want to tell the story of the luggage on the way home. When we were about to return the rental car, they have a shuttle bus, and there was a nice little fella driving the shuttle bus, helping us with our luggage. And so as we're loading all our bags on, my bag was still outside. Johnny, what did Matt say?
We were walking up the steps, and the guy was stepping down and taking bags from each person and putting on, and he was about to grab a bag, and Matt turned around and looked at, there was one left behind him. He goes, "What about this little black guy?"
He said it loudly enough too. What about this little black guy? And the gentleman who was,
I don't think he heard me,
was a little black guy.
I don't think he heard me. But I didn't even realize what I said until after you guys started laughing.
It was innocent, but it was just timed right. It was
timed.
We all started laughing. I was sick, so I was trying to enjoy it, but it was still funny. He was laughing. He was making me laugh. He was laughing, so I was laughing because he was laughing.
The bus driver?
No, you.
Oh yeah, I couldn't stop.
I don't think the bus driver heard. He was too busy working. We're sitting there like, put these on.
Yeah, I was
looking at the TV behind Johnny for a second.
I think he's watching Dateline or something.
Well, when Matt said it, it was like a record scratch. Everything stopped.
I was completely innocent. I would never say that intentionally.
But it was a long trip.
Well,
say it again, John?
It was a black piece of luggage. It was a little.
It was. I mean, your luggage is small. You don't bring a lot of luggage.
No, it wasn't one of ours. It was 6 people behind us that were trying to get in on the same shuttle, and the guy was like, "No more. We were the last 2 people to get on." It was a nightmare. It was for as modern as our society is, that thing was like, it was like a shuttle in the Philippines or something. It was crazy.
Johnny, some people were upset about my haircut. And
did you get a haircut?
I got a haircut, and Johnny wasn't feeling well. Johnny usually cuts my hair. I'm going to NAMM tomorrow. My number came up in the draft, so I'm being shipped off to NAMM. But I wanted to trim my hair a little bit, and I think it's fine. I think you might be able to style it a little better as it grows out.
I didn't notice that. What is it? You cut a lot off.
We agreed on 4 inches, but this feels like
you got to consult me when you're going to do stuff like that.
I know. I should have FaceTimed.
Now Johnny's Scott.
Wait, she didn't put the layers in like you're supposed to. They cut the length. This is supposed to be layered and then leave it long, just long layers.
She told me that these are long layers, Johnny. She said it was.
Okay, take a piece and hold it up. Hold it up. No, those are not long layers. Well,
yeah, all the same.
No. Look at where the endings are coming. They're coming down here, right? They're ending here.
Yeah.
Layers go like this. Stop. Longer. Longest. Those people that supercut, there's a reason they work there. I told you if you would have waited, but I mean, I know you wanted to get it done. It doesn't look bad, but it's like, I just don't like when people don't do things right in the profession that I have to be, pitchforked into.
But you cut Scotty's hair. I mean, he can't. He only plays with our band, so he can come out and get his hair cut by you.
We didn't do it last time because I was sick, and he was, hanging out.
Yeah.
I can't tell though from this angle. It's all dark, it's blending in. I'm sure it blends in
with the shirt. Yeah. When I walked out, I was going to cry, but now that I'm home and I straightened it, I feel fine with it. I suffer from this thing called body dysmorphia. It's not just for teenage girls. I've been very fat lately, and I look in the mirror before I go out, and I hate myself. And then I just take all the clothes out of my closet and I throw them in the air. And then I say, I'm not going, and
like
then
like that girl.
I'm a lot like
very
that, John.
female. That is yeah. People do that.
Yeah, I try on different outfits. I decide that I need a bra. My breasts are a small A, and I just get so upset, and I think that the skin cancer is back. And
I don't think it is.
You spent a week with me, yeah.
But is it still?
I think it
the
would be
reason I said that you said it hurt. Does it hurt still?
So it hurt. It does not hurt now. It was raised, and it's not raised now. So it could have been a breakout. Where you going, Johnny?
I don't know. I got to stand up. I got to get some water. I don't have anything to eat. It's dinner time. It's 8 o'clock.
Yeah, no, I know.
You're right.
We're going to wrap up. There's 375 people watching.
What's the most people ever watched, Jason?
That's a good question. I feel like we hit 500 with some guest who was particularly interesting, I think. Anyway.
Sunny Delight.
Say it again.
Sunny Delight.
No, it's just orange. I was told not to drink orange juice ever again, but I mean, the other day when I passed out and smashed my face into the countertop, I wanted to keep something in the house that would maybe, give me some, if I need it, that extra.
Now, that's
juice.
the worst thing you could drink, right, Jason?
The worst thing, yeah. Julie says you should have one of your chocolates, Johnny. Orange juice is great.
I ate them all. I ate the whole bag. I got one left.
If you need to raise your blood sugar fast, orange juice is good. It's very high on the glycemic index.
That looks like a Brussels.
This is the only one I have left. I ate the whole bag. Mm-hmm. I got no food. I got nothing in here. Look at stupid shit.
Wayne is having salmon and broccoli. You must live in Burbank, Wayne.
Good for you.
Yeah.
He's going to live a long time.
Somebody asked if Mrs. Thorne is cooking tonight. I somehow don't believe that she is.
No, what we did, we had our own keto buns.
Mm-hmm. Of course you did.
They're 50 calories, these keto buns. And we have our own pickles and our own Chick-fil-A sauce. So I went to Chick-fil-A and just got the piece of chicken and brought it back. We made our own Chick-fil-A.
You're so mental.
Is that crazy?
Mm-hmm.
I go, why don't we just go get chicken? And she goes, no, we can just go to Chick-fil-A and get the patty, bring it back. So that's what we did.
You could just go to the food library, get a piece of chicken, and bring it home and put it in your air fryer.
The food library? What is that?
What's that?
That's what I thought you would. That's what I thought you would recognize it as. The grocery store.
Oh, so that's what happened. But when I came home from this trip, the refrigerator was packed with stuff.
Really?
Broccoli, carrots, wraps, hummus wraps, tuna wraps. It was.
See, the problem is with people like you and me. There's a lot of things in the refrigerator, but if you put them all together, it still won't make a meal.
No, yeah, not only that, but if you don't eat them right away, you have to throw everything away.
Yeah.
That's the problem I have with grocery shopping.
Organic and stuff, gluten free.
Or you have to either buy frozen stuff, which
is pointless. So you go out, just go to the store. You go to a restaurant. Like that's what happens. You live in Burbank.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. There's 380 people right now.
I don't know what I do. Del Taco or something.
Melanie Head, if that is your real name, she had a question earlier for Johnny. I don't know if I got it.
What's the question?
Feel free to. Yeah, Melanie Head, feel free to ask.
I bought this. This is kind of nice. I bought this.
Oh, that's trail mix, isn't it?
Yeah, but this isn't a meal. But I bought this at Target because I bought a shirt there and a bunch of water and some toilet paper and some stuff like that. I got to go back though because the shirt has a hole in it. And
Johnny, everyone asks if you still do magic. It's been coming up a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I haven't in a while because I've just been so disillusioned by the fact that Chris Angel is the biggest magician in Las Vegas that I kind of just stopped doing it.
Is he? I've seen Chris Angel. Is he good?
I'm not going to comment on that. He's very successful. He's very successful.
Yeah,
he does a lot of camera things. He he had a very successful TV show, but it's not very close-up magic. It's things that you can edit on film, like flying over the Luxor, you know.
Which is totally
Was he
possible.
the guy that came up through like just doing magic tricks on the street, right?
No, that's
No.
David Blaine.
David Blaine.
Yeah, I like David Blaine. I actually like him. I think he's good.
I like the tiger beat.
David Blaine did more of a straight hand magic right in front of your face. He could do tricks. He also did sort of close-up magic. Thank you, John. He also did kind of endurance tests, though. He buried himself alive. He froze himself on ice. I did go see him when he was buried alive. I twice. I saw him under the ground. It was interesting.
That's Houdini kind of stuff, right?
Right. Yeah.
A lot of Houdini kind of stuff. Mark Sanchez says he bought Matt's CD. Can he sign it? And the answer is yes.
I signed every one of them.
Yeah. So you are guaranteed to get that signed by Matt. All right. Thank you, Johnny and Matt. They're both being so kind to me and my wife. They are very kind people. And you can get Matt's CD right now on mattthorne.shopify.
See, we have 3 orders since I've been on here.
Unbelievable.
Okay, that's pretty good.
What am I doing wrong?
I was gonna sell. Well, here's the Stephen Pearcy thing right now. If you go to his website and you pick this deal, it's called the Jason Green Special.
Oh.
Which used to be a thing in a massage parlor, but now I guess it's this. Waste some time with Stephen Pearcy and get a special signed CD and 8x10. So if you go to Stephen's website, he'll sign this thing for you and you get an 8x10. So that's the Stephen Pearcy deal that he spent all of 30 seconds here promoting. Now, if you want to check out Matt's CD, which is also the Jason Green Special, you go to mattthorne.com, .myshopify.com.
There it is. Yeah.
You can also Google it. And here it is, back the funk up. And then if you go to shop all, you can see the other products, which includes a very handsome signature guitar pick. Yeah. It's a 2-sided pick right there. And if I was going to buy the CD, for 20, I would throw the pick in. I would want one too. If you're watching, you can get both of these things for 25 beans. So I would do.
You know what's funny about this pick is it looks like I'm at like the Johnny Carson show with those. Is that drapes behind me? They look like drapes. Like it looks like this was a show back in the 30s or something.
Mm-hmm. Has Matt ever visited the UK? Of course he has. He's toured the world. Another question. Does Matt use a pick when he plays live? Good question.
Like a song, maybe one song.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I played "Lay It Down" last gig with the pick.
I'm Insane or one of those. I thought there's one that you.
I do Sweet Cheater, usually Sweet Cheater, sometimes Body Talk, and sometimes Lay It Down. But always Sweet Cheater.
Yeah,
it just sounds more even. That kind of part, like 16th notes, they sound a little more even.
Yes. No Music, No Life would like a rough cut T-shirt. I don't know if those exist anymore.
I think you could probably get them on eBay or something. You can get a rough cut 3 T-shirt from DDR Music.
All right, so take a look. That's the final rough cut. If you look at question, Johnny, who in heavy metal has the best hairpiece? I'm balding and need some inspiration. Johnny, any idea? You're the hairstylist.
Man, I don't know. It's a good question. I know it's not Michelangelo Badio.
I thought Burt Reynolds had a good hairpiece.
Who?
Burt Reynolds.
Oh yeah. Yeah, well, movies, there's, if you're taking it there, that's a whole different thing. But guitar, like musicians, I don't know. It's a good question.
I'm trying to find Chip Z'Nuff's wedding photos.
Yeah, it's not him.
No. What is his wife's name?
don't remember.
She changed her name. Like,
Yeah.
I think her last name. Let me see if I can find it.
Dottie.
I got it. Yeah, Dodie Bird. I want to share these photos with the audience. As a lot of you know, Johnny Monaco was in a band called Enough's Enough. He was the lead singer and lead guitar player at one time. And him and Chip haven't talked as much as they used to. But Chip renewed his vows in a Catholic ceremony.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking now, and I'm thinking she might have took the picture down. Thank God I saved it on my phone. But let me see if I can find this, because fans like to know what's going on, and something that was mentioned made me think of this picture. I think she took it down, Johnny.
No way.
I think she did.
I don't know where it was, so I didn't see it.
It was on her Facebook, and now I think that he got a little heat. He wasn't wearing a hat, if you know what I mean.
You think it was that?
I think that a lot of people may have said their piece, hair piece. Anyway, I'll find the picture and we'll show it. But right now, it looks like she removed it. Thank God I saved it, because I'm sure you would all want to see it. I had all these rat images ready to go, but Stephen.
He aborted mission. So it was just very abrupt. You were thinking maybe a half hour.
He wasn't even. He was. I thought 20 to a half hour. He didn't even sit down.
He's busy though, right?
I think he seemed it. Johnny is a way better singer than that Chip guy. I would agree.
I said
Johnny. Oh, good. I need an email though.
Oh.
I know it's a pain in the ass, but it's the only way I could access it right now.
Okay.
Unless you can put it in the chat here, private chat.
Is there a way to do that?
I think so. It says private chat in the corner. Johnny, is Donnie easier to get on with than Chip?
Different type of thing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say either of them is easy. I don't know them like Johnny, obviously. Some of these questions. If you can email it, Johnny, please do. Matt, I would like Matt to see this as well.
I got it.
And
I don't know why they would take it down. I mean,
well, let's let the audience decide why they might take it down.
There's a good thread somewhere that I found that people were commenting on Facebook. It was a great thread. It was hilarious.
Mm-hmm.
What is this?
Well, I'm looking. Johnny's going to email me a picture.
I did, Ray.
Okay, I didn't get it. Oh, there it is. Okay. So you'll take a look at Matt. You tell me, is there anything about this picture that you may tell your wife, hey, take that picture down? Okay, so here we go. Johnny found it. This is a picture of the lovely bride and groom at the chapel. And take a look. Now, I hope it's big enough to see. To the left, you see our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, nailed to the cross. The Catholics they really love that image and sharing it. I'll zoom in a little bit. Mm-hmm. Not that far. But this is really where I'm interested. Right about there. Right?
Mm-hmm.
What's going on?
You have to remember something. My wife's a costume designer, so
right.
You could take this as a costume, right? I don't know. Like that could be said. This is a costume, right? Or you could dress like you're, like you want to be, like it's cool or something. I don't know. There's the alternative. You could go like for Halloween. Or you can go for like you want to be dressed a certain way for a wedding, or I don't know. I'm not going to say anything negative about this, but my wife is a designer, and she would definitely probably change things.
Is his tie a little short?
Mm-hmm. It's
Not
a
if
little
you're getting out of
short.
it.
Well, the shirt might be too long. The shirt might be. No, I think you're right. I think the tie is a little short.
And then these bells. And I'm not trying to distract from the obvious. Maybe in this region, if you're following my pointer, that looks like a hat.
Hmm.
And then the big Greta Garbo glasses don't help. No disrespect to his lovely bride, who obviously dressed up for the occasion.
I will say that the glasses match the shirt. I think they're the same color, right?
Mhm.
There's a color coordinated thing going on there, I think.
Well, he's missing the flower that squirts the water.
I think that Jesus got on the cross after seeing that hairpiece. He just couldn't take it. I mean,
He got back
does
on.
not look, that doesn't look real.
You think that's a hairpiece? I mean, maybe.
What do you think?
I don't know. It could be real.
I
wish my hairline was that low. But I'm going to tell you, as envious as I am, I mean, I wish I had my hairline was that low.
Johnny, you know the guy better than anybody. What do you think he's doing?
I don't know what's happening there. I mean, it might be extensions. I don't know. It's a little. I mean,
you're
there's
a
other.
stylist.
Yeah,
That can't be real.
Yeah, I'm not a priest.
Who is this?
No, it's not real.
Well, first of all, who is this? I don't even know who I'm looking at.
Oh,
What show are you watching, Matt?
I was watching Dateline over here.
Yeah, behind Johnny. That's Chips Enough.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, send me another one.
Okay.
What year was that taken? Was it this?
It's very recent.
It's like less than a week ago, man.
Oh, okay.
They renewed their vows. The audience is giving their opinion.
Yeah.
So far, it seems unanimous that he's wearing a grandma wig. They say.
I got a better one for you.
Okay, you let me know when it's there, and
I think it's there.
Okay. Excuse me.
I mean, it's if they wouldn't start, maybe I'd be an answer. This is how you end up on a suitcase.
All right, hold on. His wig has no lace in the front. All right. I wish I could unsee that picture. I got it. All right, let's take a look in my emails. Okay. I'm glad you guys could join me at the last second. I really thought that, Stephen was going to be ready to talk. He said he was, but I got him at a bad time that was arranged by both of us 8 hours earlier.
Was Bear there?
Didn't see him. Didn't see him.
I sent you two. Just in case.
Okay. Well, one is the same one, it looks like.
Oh,
one of these is the same one. Okay, hold on. But there's one that's marked wig. Okay,
I think after seeing the wedding picture, we might renew our vows. It was inspirational.
Yeah.
So Johnny wants to take a look here, and this is a different musician, and we're going to take a look. Now, what do we think of this? This is Michelangelo Badio. Do we think that pulls straight off?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't look good.
It looks healthy.
You mean the hair?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to see him in NAMM. I know it.
It's very full.
Yeah. Well, luckily Johnny gave us another one for comparison. So hold on.
Okay. Oh, is this before and after?
I'm not sure. I didn't open it yet. Let's see what else Johnny has. Johnny has folders. If you didn't know. Oh boy. All right. Well, here's the other one.
That's a different one. That's
different picture.
I think that's real hair. No? No, maybe I have no idea. I'd have to feel it.
I'm gonna ask him at NAMM if I can rub my fingers through his hair.
Yeah, I think you need to do that. See if it secured.
I'm gonna vote no on all of these people. And hey, look, nothing wrong with losing your hair.
No, it's genetic.
It's gonna happen at some point. Okay.
There seems to be a correlation between those kind of hair pieces and putting posters and pictures of yourself all over your entire house.
Here's an interesting person joining us right now. This is Dr. Paul Shortino.
Oh,
this is Matt knows a singer with a better rug than that. I mean, I'm not sure about that, but we were interested, Matt, right? We were interested in you were going to come on the show with Amir.
Yeah, I want Amir to do it with me.
Amir Durak.
And try to guess who this guy is. Put out questions and have him answer the questions, and then we try to guess who he is, and he has to say yes or no, and he can't lie.
Dr. Paul, if you're up for it, we will have an episode of the show, and Matt and Amir will ask you questions to try to identify who you are. And if you really want, we'll bring Paul in too.
Yeah, that would be great.
And then, but you have to give it up if they get it, Dr. Paul. That's up to you. We'll give you some time to think about it. Someone says a name here. I would not confirm or deny whether or not that person is wearing a wig.
Me neither.
But that's up to you. A lot of people talking about Steel Panther. We know that they are wearing.
Those are actually good wigs, though.
Now that they were wearing wigs because it's part of their act. I mean, it's kind of funny because they have the fan blowing the hair, right? Or one of them had a fan blowing the hair back.
Yeah, but those actually are good ones. They look real. I wouldn't know if I didn't,
Next time you guys come on, we'll play a game and we'll do some interesting things. Okay, hold on. Dr. Paul says, I will message Amir if they guess it. I would message Matt, but he would leave me hanging until 2029. That is true. So, okay, so he's willing. If you guys get it right, he has Amir's number, so that's a good sign.
I have 191 messages to get to before I can get to Dr. Paul.
Yeah, 191 messages unread. Okay, so somebody said Dr. Paul is Sebastian Bach.
Oh, really? Does you think that's possible?
No,
I don't think it. I don't think it is. I'm on my way to NAMM. As I said, my draft card is up. Matt, any chance you will be appearing at NAMM?
I don't think so. I don't
I'll
really
be
know.
there Friday.
I don't know what to do there, to be honest with you.
I'll be there Friday and Saturday. I am covering it as part of the media. They invited me to showcase things and bring them to your attention and interview people. They will be giving Brit Lightning the Lifetime Achievement Award and things like that. I saw some of the people appearing. Geezer Butler of Black Sabbath is going to be appearing. James Lomenzo, who is in the White Lion, and I'd like to get him on the show. He's going to be there. And Wayne Kramer, MC5. That's a kind of cool one. He has a book about guitars that he's going to be there promoting. And there's a bunch of others too. When I go to NAMM, besides having Vietnamese food, I'd like to see the different personalities that you don't expect to see. And I'll give you a few people that you see at NAMM. Pino Palladino. Do you know him?
He's a bass player.
Bass player, one of the most legendary session bass players.
He played on a couple of songs. I feel like, what's that song? Every Time I Go Away. It was a guy he played fretless very well on this song. It's amazing, some of his bass stuff. I'm trying to remember the name.
These are the kind of guys you're sure to see. Pino Palladino. And then there's another bass player. I can't think of his name. One of you guys will know. He plays with Clapton. He plays with Phil Collins. He's got a long white beard.
Oh,
he
Sklar.
Yeah,
Sklar.
Leland Sklar.
He has a book out.
He looks like a Popeye character. He looks like he's chasing Sweet Pea. But it's fun to see those guys. As far as guitar players, Jennifer Batten, who was with Michael Jackson, she's always there. Eric Gales, who's a great guitar player, plays left-handed, a lot like Hendrix. Johnny, do you know Eric Gales?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, a lot of these guys.
Really good.
Real good player. You get to see these kind of guys at NAMM, and Rudy Sarzo. And then you see people who just want to be seen. It's a circus. But for someone like you, Matt, there's a lot of gear that might be good for your studio.
There is.
Yeah.
It's not the same as it used to be, where you used to try to get endorsements and get free stuff when you were young. Now, you can maybe get a slight discount, but it's not really about that. I think if you go to NAMM now, maybe you can check out something you haven't heard of, or some new technology that's there. But I found the last couple of NAMMs I went to, I really came away with nothing. I don't know. I don't know if it's for me anymore. It was a lot different back in the 80s.
Yeah, well, it was important then. Larry Mitchell. Is Larry Mitchell the guy who had the instructional tapes and he was in some metal bands? I think Larry Mitchell's a guitar player. I think I remember him. You'll have to let us know. But
I played a couple of those back in the day.
Say it again, Johnny?
I played a few of those in Chicago.
Okay, yeah.
And I played one here in California for Laney. And I did a whole instrumental thing with tracks. They put me in a hotel. It's fun.
Wasn't Laney's used on the Rat records, right? I think they used Laney's. Mm-hmm.
I
heard that Laney, actually, something interesting about Geezer Butler. So Heaven and Hell, the bass tone on Heaven and Hell, that record, the whole record, was a Laney guitar amp that Tony Iommi dialed. That's what Ronnie told me. Ronnie James Dio.
Wow. Yeah, that's a little history. And Matt, obviously, you lived in Dio's house at one point. You toured with Dio. You were managed by Wendy Dio, who also gave you the name Thor.
That's right.
Because
2 R's.
You were the god of thunder.
Yeah, I think I didn't have much choice in the spelling, nor did I have much choice in the name. I think I was just given that name. Kind of like when you're born, you're given a name. You don't have choice. This is kind of the name I was given when Rough Cut had its inception.
Dr. Paul says NAMM is a great place to see Alan Krieger arm wrestle Rockin' Dave for a handful of quarters. It's very inside, but if you get it, you get it.
I think I saw Alan Krieger at the Whiskey. Do you know him?
I wouldn't be surprised. I know him a little bit, sure. Okay, we're going to wrap this up because this is a good question, and I don't really know if Matt can answer. I know he can, but I don't know if he will. Did you ever see any conflict between Ronnie and Wendy?
No.
No. Never, like, personally between them?
No.
Did you ever see anything that would make you think maybe the marriage was in trouble?
I don't know how to answer.
He's going to plead the fifth is what he's going to say. Yeah. But he's saying is that he never saw them fight.
No, I sent you my NAMM show picture.
Oh, okay. I'll get to that. Matt, what was the recording process like leading up to Hearing Aid? This is a tricky question to answer.
I just think I showed up there. I didn't really know what we were doing. So I just showed up there, and there was, Ted Nugent and people from Blue Oyster Cult and people in pink coats, leopard shirts, and then some people from Spinal Tap, and I realized we were doing "We Are the World" heavy metal version. So I didn't really see much of the recording process. I just faked singing.
We have a picture of Johnny performing at NAMM, and we're going to bring that up, and then we're going to. There it is, right there. Look at that. You look like a young Chris Angel.
Wow. When was this, Johnny? What year?
That was the 1941 NAMM Jam.
That was
I don't think Laney was out then.
2008.
It was Lady Senior. How cool.
That's really cool.
2008? That's not that long ago.
No, that isn't really. I thought you were going to say the 1995 or something.
And I played. Well, when the first NAMM show I went to, I met Jim Marshall, and I have a picture of shaking his hand in front of all the Marshalls. That was nice. And I played that one. That was in Chicago, but that was earlier. But this one was my last one. And then I just never. I don't know. I guess I never got any calls to come back, and I don't really know how to do it anymore.
Yeah. Well. Anyway, okay, so that's cool. So let's take that out. And you spared no expense on shoes that year, apparently.
I know, right? You know why I did that? Because when you're there, it's like a marathon. You're walking all over the place.
True.
You can walk for like all day. And I think I went there once before, and I'm like, I got to wear some sensible shoes. And now I have Billy Squire playing in Ibanez.
Last time I went was with Greg D'Angelo. And he decided, we thought parking was going to be a nightmare. But he goes, I don't know. I just say I'm staying at one of these hotels. He was very good at manipulating. He went to the hotel. The guy goes, you staying here? And he goes, yeah. He goes, what room are you in? And he ran off some room number. And they go ahead. We parked there for free all day. He's very good at that. Like I had to learn for years. He would go up and say, I need pre-board, medical pre-board. And I was scared. I was like, I'm not going to go up there and ask for medical pre-board. So he would do it all the time. The first time I went up there and asked for medical pre-board, I was denied, which is odd, right? So I was scared for even longer. Now it's routine, right? So now I always ask for medical pre-board because I don't feel as guilty because of the back surgery.
Yeah.
So I just feel like, you know what? Screw you. I had back surgery. That's what I'm thinking in my head if they ask anything. But the secret is you have to say what seat you want. You need a preferred seat, and you have to say aisle. And once you say that, you're medical pre-board.
Yeah. Dr. Paul says, who cries for the children? Dio was the original lyric, but his dyslexia made him sing I do instead. The joke's a little deep on that one. I'm not really positive.
I'm having a hard time with that one.
Yeah. Dr. Paul, you got to keep it easy for us. I find it hard to believe it's been 2.5 hours. It was 2 hours and 25 minutes ago that Stephen made his 3-minute appearance. He answered 2 questions, and Dr. Paul's explaining the jokes.
Oh, I get it. Okay, it's a play on. It's like Scrabble.
Johnny, have you ever been to Monaco?
No, I don't think so.
I have. Monaco is very nice. I went to an adult video award show in Monaco with a man named John Wayne Bobbitt. And this was 1995. And we met Jenna Jameson. She was an up-and-coming actress. Mm-hmm. And she was in the bathroom with another young lady named Felicia. And they left the bathroom door open, and whoever would like to enjoy things that occur in Monaco, they did. And that's what I remember about Monaco. The late Ron Jeremy was there as well. Let's see. A happy NAMM weekend. Yeah. Let's hope for peace and that the war will be over soon.
Is it still in Anaheim?
It is in Anaheim. Yeah. I'm going to have a hard time being in Anaheim and not going to Disneyland. And it could happen. I enjoy a good a Mickey Mouse vacation. Maybe we'll get together, Matt, if you guys are free.
Yeah.
But I'm going to be in Burbank on Thursday. That's tomorrow.
Ramel and I have this really cool place to go to. You and Michelle might want to go.
Well, I'll hit you up privately so that the millions of viewers don't stalk us.
Yes, exactly. That's why I'm not mentioning any names.
Yes. AVN is not next week. It's actually happening right now. That's the Adult Video News Convention. I am an AVN award winner, but I am not attending. There's nothing in it for me. And as far as content goes, you can't really monetize that kind of content.
Huh.
And I'm trying to keep my P's and Q's, if you will. CES was last week. AVN is this week. NAM is this weekend. A lot of things going on. And then they got this thing called the Super Bowl for us here in Las Vegas. That is going to be ridiculous.
Now you're not really a football fan. Either one of you guys are.
No, I was born in New York City, and my teams were the Yankees, the Giants, the Knicks, and the Rangers. So once the Giants are out, I don't really pay much attention. I'm rooting for the Detroit Lions, though.
Me too.
That's the coolest story there could be. I had a late friend who passed away. He said, "I'm never going to live to see the Lions make the playoffs." And so I think that's the Cubs or the Red Sox, the underdog team. This is the one you want to see. The Bills, it was interesting. They didn't make it, but it's interesting that they've been better in later years. But the Lions would be the exciting thing to watch. Yeah. So, all right, and I think, go Lions. Johnny, anyone you rooting for in the Super Bowl to make the Super Bowl?
No, I don't. I don't really keep up on it anymore.
But then,
I don't even know who's in it.
Would be your team, right?
Yeah, but they're never gonna. The Bears are never gonna be in the Super Bowl.
Johnny, they're pointing out
the Lions.
The last time the Lions made it was 1956. That's the last time Johnny watched a football game.
I used to like football. I mean, if it's on in the background, it's a Chicago thing. You got a vibe in the house. You're cooking and everyone's, hanging out and you're watching the game. But now I have no vibe with nothing in my life. It's lame. I hate Las Vegas. There's no vibe here. I don't know anybody really here. There's no family or nothing. So it's not the same. So you could try to watch football and try to get that memory back and that feeling, but it's just not the same anymore. So I don't watch it.
Well, I don't know. Do you know the story of this Lions thing? Why it's interesting? I'm going to tell Johnny. So there's this guy, the quarterback of the Lions. He was on the Rams out here. They went to the Super Bowl and lost. Okay. And they lost to the 49ers. So then Sean McVay, the coach of the Rams, ghosted him for like 5 months. And they traded him for Stafford, who was on the Lions, and brought him to the Rams. So then they played each other in the playoffs. And, of course, everybody wanted Goff to win because they felt bad for him. So he won, and that's what makes it exciting. So they're terrible. They were the worst team. He got traded to the
I knew about that. Yeah.
And
it's
been since
kind of a cool story.
Some people annoy me, and I'm going to block this one, I think. YT Johnson is annoying. First, he complained about this, and then he complains about that, and then he complains about. Then he says he doesn't like that I say I'm from New York. I've mentioned it too much, and then here's his last comment. YT Johnson, with the risk of me losing my monetization, go fuck yourself. Okay.
The whole show's been canceled.
Yeah, there goes my money. We'll give him a nice break because, look, if you want to watch the show, but don't be a jerk. Who's got time for that? A lot of people like to see LA Guns at the halftime show. By that, I think they mean arms dealers.
I think Taylor Swift might be at the halftime show.
I think only if her boyfriend would have made it.
Yeah. Well, it might be that,
Yeah. All right. Well, listen, I think we've said it all. What else can we say? I appreciate you guys coming on. None of this was planned because, Stephen Pearcy, as it says in the title of this episode was Stephen Pearcy stops by to discuss Back in the Cellar Tour. As I said, he was also about to announce a major event. And now, I don't know. It says Usher is the halftime show. I thought that they're supposed to show you to your seats. Now they're entertaining? Doesn't make sense. Striper for the halftime show. Great show. All right. You guys got anything that you want to plug? Johnny? JohnnyMonaco.com?
Yeah, I mean, if they want picks, they can go on there, and there's all kinds of stuff at my store.
Johnny's got guitar picks. He's got CDs. He's got pedals. There used to be a pair of shoes. You still got the shoes?
No, I think I decided to keep those.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
It was
they
cool
missed
talking
out.
to the guy who made your pedal though at the show.
There's
What was his
a lot.
name?
Oh,
Your
yeah.
guy who made your pedal. That guy was cool.
Tom King, yeah,
Very
Atomic Amps. Yeah.
smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and people are happy that you guys stepped in. And yeah, she said she found her soulmate, Johnny's CD, that will be available soon. Matt Thorne, as you know, if you go to mattthorne.myshopify.com, you can pick up. How many have you sold today, Matt?
Well, since I've been on the show, I've sold 4.
4. Okay.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Isn't that crazy?
Good.
One of the things I like about it is that Matt shows the basses that you played on the back of the record. I think that's kind of cool. So each song has a different bass, and it's fun. I mean, look, this is for people who are fans of bass, fans of funk, fans of bass funk, fans of instrumental bass funk. If that's your thing,
this has nothing to do with what we're doing.
well,
Like
it's different. But I
Zero.
have a very smart audience. They like music. Keith here recommends Back to Funk Up. So anyway,
Right.
you guys go get those things.
I remember sending Keith one actually.
Yeah, he's a fan. Although I don't know, he's asking if shipping's included. So
Oh, maybe I don't. Maybe I don't know what the hell I'm
no,
talking
Keith, you better get on it. Jason says always good to wrap things up with an Usher seating joke. Another great show. Long live Burbank bass funk. Yeah.
about. Yeah, number
And,
one.
and Jim says, send some suitcases to The Price is Right, or let's make a deal. Johnny Monaco, I should mention, also has luggage available. I thank you, 350 people. You've been here for 2 hours, 36 minutes, and 53 seconds, but who's counting? I'll see you guys, officialstephenpearcy.com to see the tour dates. We're adding shows every day. So far, we're booked as far as, I think, 2029. But we get dates that are far away, and we're not allowed to announce them. That's how it works. The venue gets to announce it first. But rest assured, if you'd like to see Johnny and Matt and the others with Stephen Pearcy perform out of the cellar in its entirety, you will have the chance to do that. All right, guys.
Are we going to do Out of the Cellar in Vegas or no?
Yes, those are the next 2 shows. 2 nights in Las Vegas at the Stratosphere, now called the Strat, with co-headlining with Night Ranger. Yeah, if 2 nights of Out of the Cellar there, come to Las Vegas. In March, we'll be in Bloomington, Illinois, and that is a suburb and an arena, the Grossinger Arena. The bill would be Quiet Riot, Stephen Pearcy, and Vince Neil, the voice of Motley Crue. So I hope that come to a show, and there's a lot more. It's going to be a busy year, and a lot of people thanking you guys, and a lot of people saying rest in peace to Johnny's Potato. And and M3, it's still in there.
It's in the refrigerator.
Oh, good. It's on ice.
Doesn't want to go to heaven yet.
Todd will see us at the Strat. Looking forward to seeing us at M3. M3 will also be the same thing. If you don't like what you see here, get the funk out. Yes. And Wayne says parting gifts for everyone. Not sure. Blah, blah, blah. All right, guys. I kept you love. Thank you. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. See you next time.